drop feed you as much as we can, stretch out that CPM, right? That's how you get it done. Content creation. That said, guys, coming up this weekend, we still have more Street Fighter V action, and arguably, not even arguably, undeniably the best Street Fighter V action. We have CPT Japan, singular, coming up today. The top 16 will be getting started today, and man, you know, normally we like to do a preview and kind of a look back on the history of a region, but it almost feels like I don't even know where to begin, and I don't even know where to end with this, because Japan has obviously been the center for Street Fighter. It's the region that everyone wants to beat. It's where you want to go to train. You want the players to come out to your region so you can test your mettle against the best in the world, because the level of talent is just so deep, and this bracket is no exception. I'm looking at the bracket numbers. It's like 3 times larger than any of the CPT brackets we've had so far. And just scrolling over, the brackets haven't been released at the time of this recording here, but we're looking at the names. Immediately, I'm being bombarded with S-tier player after S-tier player. I don't even know where to begin. Daigo, Tokido, Moke, Dogura, like Fujimura, Fudo, Gachikun. What do I even say?
I think the first place to start with this, Brian, because I fully agree, it's so hard to decide where to start. It's just the severity of like how wild it is for Japan to be playing for the one spot. Like this tournament is about to be wild. Even when I think last year they had 4 CPT events, and that still felt like, man, I don't know, that might not be enough. Right. So remember, they were like one of the only regions, if not the only region, that their top 8s, they had top 8s where there was at least 7 different people, maybe a full 8 different people.
Yeah, usually it was like at most 2 or 3 people who had been in a previous top 8. For the most part, it was more than 50% brand new faces each time. I think if you did that in most regions, you would not see that. You would see like 60%, I think, for most regions around that level. Right, and even in this region at the time last year, 2021, it was all about Kawano. He was the most consistent player by far in the Japan region. He took the Ponga League, and he was just doing work in every EVO Online. He was winning every championship that came his way, and even in the CPT events, you know, he didn't win until the final qualifier. And he got to grand finals against Daigo in the 3rd one, but it wasn't until the 4th one where he won, and he was the most consistent player at that time. So the fact that it's been boiled down to one event, it's so hard to call. But I guess we can talk about the current lay of the land. Looking at Topanga League, which is currently active, you see kind of some new dominant figures right now. Like Pugera actually is looking really hot right now, using a Balrog and Poison, mostly with the Rog. He's looking really good. He's the #1 ranked player in the Ponga League right now. We have Momochi doing work with Cody, and you know, we were just talking about John Takeuchi, who was dominating in the B League, moved on to the A League now, is still doing very good with Cody as well. So it's hard to call who's really going to be moving on in this bracket. Tokido as well. I'm just glancing at the results here.
依家連呢個 Topanga 都擺喺 King Fighter 嗰個 Shayla 度播廣告。
So I don't know. I don't know who is going to move on to this bracket.
Man, like I feel like this region, to some degree, it has to come down to bracket luck outside of just skill, because so many players are amazing. And when I say bracket luck, of course, you're unlucky to be in this bracket in the first place. So we got to get that out the way from jump. There is no lucky spot to be
unlucky or fortunate. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
I guess, it depends on your perspective. It depends on your perspective, because you are getting some amazing training partners. But in this situation, they're not looking to train with you. They're looking to send you home and get Capcom Cup over you. Of course, in situations like this, the pressure is even higher. So this tournament is not like CPT Japan won last year. If your region had more than one CPT event last year, the pressure on that first one was different. So right now, where some people might have been playing more loose, I think that now someone like with Daigo's mentality, with Tokido's mentality, with their experience, I should say, I think that they have a huge leg up. So I would be surprised a bit, believe it or not, as amazing as the young blood is in Japan, and as you know, there seems to be them trying to force some type of changing of the guard, or at least get up to that level.
哇！歷史遺物啊！呢當托基多做紅鬼嘅話，真係歷史遺物。
We're able to overthrow the OG. So Tokido is set for a huge performance here, in my opinion. Daigo, of course. Itabashi. We seen what Itabashi did.
哇！歷史遺物啊！
Capcom Cup. You know, finishing second place
run.
there to.
No, people were not counting on him to go that far.
Yeah, remember, it's not even like Itabashi was speaking of clutch even with him. He was close not to even being in cup that year. So it goes without saying how comfortable he is in the clutch. While everyone else is sweating and clutching their pearls in this bracket, we know Itabashi's going to be rocking back and forth and smiling with every single SPD or command grab. So the OGs are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I agree, but you know what? I think we just for the fun of it, we should call a winner.
Oh my gosh, bro!
Just because you can't.
Oh,
but you know what?
yeah,
I'm gonna go
tough.
ahead and go first because I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna call
Hey.
Tokido for this one.
咁佢
Come on, bro.
個又
So he's definitely in.
我都唔想咁早啊，但係我叫唔喐先，我叫唔喐 Cap 講遲啲開波，等我瞓醒先開波，焗住依家打。
I am gonna have to go with none other than arguably the biggest personality over in Japan, in my opinion, of the top players, all day Mago.
Oh.
如果邊係啊，
Okay.
一個鐘啊嘛。
If I'm not mistaken, he did win the first CPT Japan last
呢個
year.
係呢個咩嚟㗎？
Yes. He
我呢
did.
個
Against
係
Tokido.
上年第一個 Capcom 葡萄牙。
One of the 5 Japanese fighting game gods for a good reason.
上年有4個，今年又唔到幾多個。
Exactly that in this bracket.
Well, Rob, listen, we can speculate all day about who we think is going to be in this top 16, but let's be honest, we're probably wrong already. That's just the truth of the matter. The talent pool in Japan, it runs too deep. Every one of these CPT events, it's almost impossible to call. Anyone who says they picked the correct bracket for a CPT Japan event is a liar because you never know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out today. We're going to see all the action here live on camera.
因為美國嗰個點睇今日嗰啲啊，幾多嘢發現啊！
All right, guys, and before
例
we
如
get into the top 16,
講下佢嗰啲益時器啊，或者嗰啲 X bar 點樣 build up 啊 ，parry 幾多 frame 喺度，跟住嗰啲咁嘅進攻防守嗰啲咁嘅，即係嗰啲咁嘅選擇，都幾街死大鑊，我又唔知得唔得添，即係啱埋又一 frame parry， 跟住啱埋又佢唔連8血都唔扣，我有啲覺得。不過唔知阿嫲使唔使放，即係佢有冇得 cancel？ 一邊3都幾勁，即係起上就可以 pair 啊！呢啲夠僵㗎，都唔係 pair 嘅呢個應該係，呢個 parry 嚟，都幾多啲奇怪嘢。我睇下送到俾你睇先，都幾多奇怪嘢睇啊！啲柴有好多，啲柴有好多誒呢啲例如嗱1 frame parry， 13 frame active， 3 frame is perfect parry， 7 frame top parry，total miss is 10，即係你 parry 之後打翻出去，唔係即係佢 parry 咗13 frame， 即係13 frame 之後你先打佢咧，咁佢就可以有14 frame 時間打佢。不過要再試實啲先。我諗緊可唔可以即係13 frame 之後，即係 pair 中之後會點？25% 血之後就可以有呢個增升。可以 chip 死對手啊，擋都可以 chip 死，都幾勁喎！我覺得我唔係好中意。可能覺得系統太勁咧，所以就唔需要。佢呢個E4超好勁啊！冇啊，E4超屈勁啊！4格2格好晒，一下用2格，即得3格氣嘅呢就要，勁難 build up 喎！啲氣真係慢用，啲誇張，又咪唔得嘅，不過好誇張。梗係唔睇啦，梗係唔華女都有弱，唔 唔係好得啫，我覺得。
Welcome, ladies and
呢
gentlemen,
個
to another edition of the Capcom Pro Tour. It is good to be here. I see the smile.
有 punish counter，
already.
唔知 punish counter 有 flow， 你見到個動畫係飄嚟飄去。
We are here for the singular. You heard Brian F say it. The singular, the one and only qualifier for Japan.
呢個好似普通打係咪？
James,
呢個 counter hit 啊
see the
嘛。
smile on your face. You ready? You want for violence?
因為呢個
man?
就
You see the
punish
bloodbath
counter，
today?
成個動畫唔同
These
咗。
players
不
that
過
are
唔知有冇
our
分別。
world champion caliber that are not even get to make it to top 8.
Dude, single qualifier for Japan
Oh, yeah.
is the most brutal phrase in the Capcom Pro
咩球多啲
Tour. I mean, look,
即係頭都有
you guys
counter
are
hit 盤
keeping
定，即係
track.
點
The
議會嗰
brackets
啲。
are out there. You can actually see who's in it. It's already kind of a bloodbath
不過
out
星
there.
要兩
Some
格，
of
呢個唔係
the
會
players
入邊一
are
格嘅
already
好似
in
啦，我
the
識
losers bracket. And just like
一
Brian
格，
said,
好似
anybody
都
predicted
睇唔
this
到一格，應該一
bracket
格
right
好
now?
奇怪，即係唔同招嘅一時起都
It's happen. It's like Steve
get
trying
up.
to block Exert mix-ups at Evo. It's not gonna happen, bro.
我話出嚟個 CA 可以搏招喎，變翻街
You
衫。
remember that clip? You know, shout out to Ryan Hunter too. You know,
同埋一路 CA 咧，見到個 V 巴度球，
Damn, why you gotta do Steve like that, man? That's good.
It's just because I love him. He's so close to
Of
my heart.
course,
That's
of
why.
好似個機日本有得玩
Oh,
啊
man,
嘛。
but look,
即係就係嗰啲咁嘅
we
exhibition 度
have
展
a
示。
bracket here already, and the thing that's standing out to me is if you look at this top 8 right now on the winner side of the top 16 bracket, you're not going to recognize some of these names for one thing. That is not Marlin Pie that you see at the top over there.
不嬲
But
好似係
I'm going from top to
TT 嗰個
bottom here.
film
We have a
嘅
Kage, a
Bum,
Nakali,
bum,
a
bum.
Lucia. I can't wait to see that. A Cody. We have
一
a
嚟
Dictator.
FA
we have Yuri,
一定要
we have
放
a
喎，
Boxer
唔可以好似
and
街市咁樣
Fortnite,
前前
and
後
we
後
have
聽
a
數，咁都合理嘅，
Rashid.
咁都好啲。
These are 8 characters that you would
不過
not
無限啱啊
pick
呢個份，
out here. I mean,
點爆
the
佢
looks are the
呢
lowest.
招又幾勁
Yeah,
啊！周爆咗
exactly.
之後咧，
Rummaging
有
around
夾逼
down there, right? I
拖
can't
翻唔到，
remember if
亂嚟咯。
Mochi is down there as well.
Oh, yeah,
the
he
Dawson,
is.
right? So yeah,
Yeah.
another one of those characters you're expecting to see. But as you mentioned, James, we have a nice variety of characters, 8, 9 distinct characters for these elite players. We got some familiar faces.
有多招睇落好屈咯，呢個係好屈咯，但係招又唔知啊。
We got Usama, Keitsu, a lot of players that are going to be looking to make a name for themselves by putting some legends in the losers bracket.
Man, can you imagine if one of those takes Japan? Like,
Yeah.
嘥格氣喎，咪喺度打咧，一到 combo 已經回翻晒成格嘅益氣，即係只要打中對手咧，其實你嗰套 combo 可以回本。都幾勁。
But here we
Menace on
go.
that Blanca, bro.
Jazzy and Tokido, both Luke players here. And Daigo and Higuchi are
Wow,
Luke
咁痛
players
啊
as well. But as you mentioned, YHC Mochi with the sim, and then
有冇嗰條
Mochi
紅
with
血
the
咧？
Luke as
有
well.
啲
Now,
灰血，
one of the interesting things to me
即係
here,
好似
I know
好
I
似
talk
咁
about
話
it a
咧
lot every，time
佢
I
啲氣巴先扣得多啊！
Japan,
一路打一路扣翻啲氣，
the
我都
storyline
Julie
of the age- the age
有冇六格㗎？睇下
Japan that the
用一個
old
CA
guard usually dominates here. And
扣
we're
兩
seeing
格
that
我諗
again.
有，
There's not a single
好誇張
player in the winner side top 16
因為 CA 扣兩
that
格
is
氣。
younger than 30 years old.
Oh, wow.
我俾人打，如果 keep 住俾人壓嘅話，咪一格氣都
Together,
冇。
Gachikun are 30, but in the loser side of the bracket, I think we only have
我
four
覺得個
players
play 勁
under
快
30
喎，其
years
實
old.
Wow.
點解可以咁靚嘅 cut 得個畫面？
Gucci at the youngest
即係佢係直情好似係攞 cap 落去。
I mean, Japan is
好誇張
always
我
been
覺得。
about that veteran, the veteran talent.
Yeah, most definitely, right? So
係啊
it's been cool to see.
咁波六段可以就
Japan
cancel，
players
通常
kind of
cancel
the old guard staying
嗰個
true, staying
嗰個
strong
啱埋佢太
throughout
快。
their just kind of progression in the fighting game community while bringing up that new generation as well, right? It's definitely something dope to see about the region.
Yeah, and of course, shout outs to everybody who is sitting here watching at home. We're gonna have a chance to hear some of your thoughts on
有時
the
先
fighting game, on the CPT.
呢個咁嘅踢，嗰個加逼好似好
We can
勁
take
啊！
a look at if we have a quote
你
from
求其
this
射都可
show
以，即係擋得冇事
and
嗰
see
啲
if,
有
anybody
遠喎，
has
遠射就得
anything
啦。
interesting to say about this event here.
They didn't brief me on this. My man, Bodega
冇代
Bobby
冇
with these
用
boys
啲
don't
咩嚟
sleep.
做？
You're damn right, Bodega Bobby. And
都
why
睇唔到
would
佢
we
消耗啲
sleep? Why
資
would you
源。
choose to sleep when there is an amazing Street Fighter tournament to be had? But yeah,
一格
James, you're right. When you point at me,
佢可以從
we
零
would
cancel
sleep. We would sleep regardless. You're right.
打咩？
Team degenerate hour.
好多
right
系
here.
統
Yeah,
係都好勁
exactly.
啊！ 啲成績經其實你唔使理咩個啊，系統其實已經即係屈死對手啊！啲隻個都係屈機。係咪今集冇系統？跟住上一集咧就講到佢可以無限，即係咁樣。因為 GG 同埋街霸突然間又喺日本有勁多 update， 搞到嗰個即係搞到佢嗰個。因為佢嗰個 Twitter 洗晒啲嘢，我爭好遠啊！我咁求其好。我想知嗰個啱埋想點咧？好勁，可唔可以耐少少
？I see Filipino man and Anton going back on Twitter, or Filipino man and Justin going back on Twitter. Justin was like, "Wait, they only have one slot? It's like that? It's like that, fam." Yeah. So we're gonna see who is the king of Japan today.
Oh man, yeah.
所以咪好勁咯！我諗緊，如果佢咁我，因為以前因為街4係一下，即係加埋一下，街5係。加到熟，呢個邊個嚟？Usama，迪卡尼仲用赤卡尼嘅人，37歲黐線老人家街吧 ？Call 氣我唔知邊個。呢兩個少見。
Have I ever seen a Kage versus the Kali match?
用翻啲日文嘅讀法。
Most likely not at this level, at the very least, right? Especially with both characters.
你撳實就有得衣服37啦，你驚細咩
？Shown love every single patch. Now that V skill 2 is monstrous, you want to get hit by any type of dive bomb. Even
都除非佢全部 hurt carry 可以 cancel 咧，就可以 pair 個 pair 嘅腳再撳。
On the other side, Usama, we've seen a little bit more of the Nakali return to prominence.
哦，是但啦，
係乜意思？ This character's back in the limelight a little bit after spinning many seasons on the bench.
Yeah, and it's interesting. 34 and 37 years old. So these two players, I feel like they've got to have been playing Street Fighter for quite some time.
Exactly.
Right?
We probably commentated a match or two of them somewhere, somehow.
I mean, I just don't see if you're 35, you're like, I'm going to learn Street Fighter.
You know?
It's happened for sure.
Some type of famous painter didn't start painting until they were 40. I forgot who it was.
街霸不嬲老人遊戲嚟㗎啦，你打親都係啲即係啲老屎忽當道，新進選手可能有兩三個咯，但係老屎忽一定係佔多。以前啲人話咁喺啲咁嘅電技遊戲，成日都話有年齡啊，即係佢哋老嗰就冇㗎啦，咁啊生命時間、職業生涯時間好短，屌打10年我都唔知短唔短，根本就好鬼死長。
And this would be a good time. We've got another Street Fighter game on the horizon, but you know.
開波啦！你卡尼對卡嘅呢個對決基本上就係即係送分對決。呢兩隻角色都係基本上係喺個戰場上咧等死嘅角色。因為始終兩隻都係小兒麻痹嘅角色嚟，手腳太短，所以就好難，即係立會好難贏咯。咁你卡尼可以壓制對手，因為你卡尼手腳短。如果開咗 V 而家就應該你卡尼轉翻去壓制卡尼，靚喎，攝到個腳。因為嗰個係輸 Jab 嘅，咁開 VT 啦。兩架 V 始終都係一定要開咗先，佢空爆都好過即係收埋個 VT 等下玩。咁啊下集就冇呢個，下集好似都有啲類似 VT 嘅嘢，不過變咗做兩格嘅 Super 咯，都勁嘅我覺得。哇，勁喎追到，不過咁咪唔係我聽完 Jab 係 combo 嚟，但係佢諗唔到入唔到嘅 Panda。我見到依家咧開咗 VT 之後，迪卡尼撳住卡奇打，咁啊真係因為咁迪卡奇可以撳住迪卡尼打，因為即係迪卡尼手腳短。開咗 VT 之後就變翻長咧就好嘅，但係又揼中啦，14啦呢個位，不過要少狂burn。咁啊兩面都係一下啦，咁等下，嘣死唔去啦，打 scale。搭都有 scale， 靚 Jab， 咁啊一踩就死嘅應該。OK， 咁啊呢個 overhead 嚟啊嘛個，但係確分咯。靚
in his heart at all.
咁啊，積咗一下，咁啊推翻上去啦。
He has no fear
爆咪，
anymore. Nothing can scare him.
爆咪啊！可以點搞咧？爆咪啊！推遠啲個咪咯，推遠咗少少。即係因為張台同埋有個凳係爭得兩少少距離，推遠啲啦而家。把聲問題，我聲唔係爆咪係把聲問題。我呢個可以確反喎，唔夠信心。咁咪輕拳揼個在啦。 你收用埋個，唉唔講啦，總之盡咗力，搞唔掂。
recovered in time as well to not get punished on the fireball. Kyohei again sitting on this meter, but we kind of saw the choice paralysis hit him last time. He was a little bit.
好中啊！嚟啦！爆！
Command throw. Usama going back to that to seal the game and take a 1-0
就成程都係力卡尼，只要力卡尼只要開到 VP 就有計。
activates that V trigger, you don't need to charge for that shoulder anymore. So he was throwing out that medium punch and buffering
力卡尼不嬲係咁嘅角
this
色。
guidance the whole entire time.
冇得講
So
話。
he got that hit. He just clipped it. Was able to confirm, and that opened up for the command throw.
打10年，打7年都係咁爆。
fully loaded on resources. He was kind of like
我係確反你㗎。咁啊，多數打一啲咁嘅打啲咁嘅角色咧，司令又好啊，拳手啊，力卡尼呢啲，一定要靠，一定係啲眯埋眼浸埋嗰個4-6 D 或者大短腳咧。咁你有時候平衡狀態。 食咗個腳，跟住之後個 cancel 咧就會食呢個，即係嗰個 special move 就會打空氣，然後俾人打翻轉。咁啊打啲對角色最慘，咁啊食一下攻擊，跟住之後打翻個底咁，就開 B 啦。咁啊去到呢個即係講緊 top 16個位咧，基本上都冇得跳，兩邊跳親都升到，因為佢哋打到 UGM 㗎嘛，升咗咁多年，佢哋讀服力好高嘅。 開 B 啦，有機會死喎呢個，飛咗上天就死，如果上落曬機會死，轉升就拍唔拍？太老實啦！咁啊一下死，哦冇啦，俾卡嘅中腳踢死咗。我屋企好似冇 raise 嘅產品，掣有咩 cat？ 咪就 high 翻 X， 出卡就係咁就係圓光，都冇一字 V 手咯。V 手有個手掣咯，不過嫌佢太扭冇用到。有機會確反喎，減4確反係㗎。哦死咗！
And one more command grab. You saw
執啦，睇嚟
round into right there. You gotta watch
卡
out.
騎死啊！卡騎輸啊應該，即係卡尼贏都唔應該。因為 Usama 咧感覺上前韓國人都好似日本人。總大人啊！咩係咪啊咩？韓國嗰個好出名嗰個，韓國好出名嗰個星，我唔好叫咩，即係咁上下嘅。哦。
Yeah, clean DP, and now we got the corner control again, but this is not spelled victory for Kyohei as much as you would think it would.
哦，大鑊啦，影相啦！
咦唔
CA 喎？
呢
個唔係 typical 日本仔啊！日本仔有 CA 出咗先嘅呢啲喎，都好少見力卡，不過都差唔多幾年冇見過力卡，所以都死咗啦，所以都好耐冇見過力卡連 typical 嘅玩法，死咗啦！
We got the V trigger power up. Usama takes his spot.
都唔使 VP 啦，就咁出 CA 都死，即係唔使用 VP 加成。
Ooh, there we go. Usama with the first game all about those comebacks. And then Kyohei managed to take one round here, prevented the comeback. But then Usama's like, you know what? I can win without comebacks. Yeah. I'm just going to dominate these next 2 rounds. And we
因為呢個 top 8
on the winner's side of top 8 for CPT
top 8
the only
top 8先搶3 ，top 16搶。咁啊下場就係 Catch 對毛毛前，咁啊 Cody 贏就必死密殺。
It is definitely a wild thing to think about with the level of talent from the region, and
不嬲都唔睇啲戲先㗎啦。你嗰個 Oki 好渣，你睇嚟嗰個 Oki 又唔算好渣，推板邊，即係推咗板邊先，跟住之後即係唔似下年嗰啲翻翻中間，同埋。
Great stuff. I thought the conditioning throughout was just so
on point. We
even saw it at the end there, him able to take advantage of just how uncomfortable Kyohei was in the neutral, cut off his path with the crouch medium kick, and I believe the confirmed.
你招啦，招勁咪即係屋企，即係個 C 完之後個位置或者個 frame 數好靚咪出咗先。
I'm excited about this next match.
I know. Tell him about it, James.
I'm excited.
Tell him about it.
We've got Ketsu, of course, who is going to be going with Lucia. And in fact, he's going up against Momochi. Momochi has listed himself as a Cody player, so it's a lore matchup too.
Oh, snap. All right, yeah,
Get
that's
the final fight match here, but obviously Lucia, I feel like has gotten stronger. So, you know, we've seen some signs of how people have the strength of the character. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to go. But he's going to be going against Momochi, who did send Tokido to losers. He's the guy who sent Tokido to losers.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, we have another quote from the chat room. Let's see what you guys have to say watching this from home.
Yeah, I believe it was my man, was it Chef Gunzer? With man, I love watching fighting games. I know that's something.
Yeah, the message係 from Twitch 下邊寫嗰啲 comment。
So we're privileged in that way.
以前喺 Twitch 度讀下啲留言。
Awesome seeing fighting games get back into their full swing. You know what I'm saying? We got the tournament circuit.
但係啲 comment 都幾流喎，好愛 fighting game 啊，或者即係好純買某個人，都冇啲搞笑啲嘢 comment， 都係啲好中規中矩。好，咁啊，第二場啦。有 Cody 咪得咯，有冇翻？你喺日本揾翻係揾唔到嘅，啲翻喺晒多米尼加同埋香港。有 Cody 啦，話36歲啦，唔使睇都知 Cody 嘅，今場可以 skip。一場宰索就一場屠宰就無可幸免㗎啦。Lucia 我唔明喎，記錯啲。Lucia 更加死得快啲 ，Laura 仲可以偷下雞。Lucia 真係呢個 Lucia 贏過一次。贏過一次日本嗰啲比賽，但係好似係嗰啲粵賽，即係細規模啲，但係都幾勁。你算啦，一陣你打 Daigo 你又話佢扭，打 Tokido 又話佢扭，跟住唉我都唔知話打邊個勁。
To be fair, like I mean, you know, at Combo Breaker, Shine got top 8 with Cody as well, right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah. So Cody definitely really strong here, but again, Lucia's been a character.
Cody definitely real strong 啊，睇唔睇到啊？知唔知廿讚好啊？即係讚咩先？我嗰時成日都二拉命，即係打到好前，但係贏到冠軍。
V skill that Ketsu goes with. Yeah, see there we go. The V trigger 2.
咁啊，呢個對決就呢個對決咧就基本上基本上就就唔好立冠軍。咁啊全部哇！呢個真係弱智啊！呢啲即係得閒就飛出嚟，跟住之後咧中咗咧有個球，中咗有個球分，擋咗咧又彈到飛講咁，我撳掣。因為基本上咧喺呢啲係弱智。間開邊啊？呢個新 buff 嚟。
See that right there? That used to only be a V trigger 1.
So you can.
Now it's a V trigger 2.
呢個你
暈咗啦喎！
呢個唔掟踢
火。
哦，偷雞成功，不錯。Lucia 就係靠偷雞。
So Ketsu taking round number 1 and again.
完啦咩？完啦咩？哦，確反啦呢個，唔中就唔好撳啦。幾嫌疑咧我見啲人多數都用嗰個輕嗰個，用中嗰個咧由嗰個靚嘅落彈，交完。輕嗰個咧飛到對面間，教開 V 啦，呢個新 buff 超勁，即係勁近距離開 V 咯，加 V 唔夠。以前踢完之後開 V， 即係又遠又加得唔多，又唔可以打多拳喎，個 hit damage 又少咗。
Yeah, but Lucia is a burst damage character, so again, kind of like we saw with Usama, it's hard to count her out.
Right now you can see Ketsu just kind of weathering the storm on the
一腳射落
EX
去
with the buffaloes.
咁啊，應該 VT 都唔使開啦。呢個中腳咧，我覺得係全 game 最勁嘅流回技之一，即係可以同春地個立足權比拼。狂撳咧係狂撳係佢贏緊。招，跟住就可以 confirm， 即係春地都要重拳 cancel CA。 跟住 Cody 係唔使嘅 ，Cody 係中腳之後點先 CA， 爭好遠，靚啊呢個。因為大家都係 sport pop 技，咁都可以一個可以點嘅，一個可以一個要重拳 cancel。咁啊，呢個中腳見到同 Lucia 嗰個啊，即係立中腳有打。咁啊過唔到去，我話靚喎 confirm 到佢 confirm 到佢哦好大鑊，埋牆。喂後邊先，咁啊刀仔啊靠！哎呀，我火唔到啊！ 哎呀，減4啊，確反啊呢個。咁啊 ，Cody 呢個4飛無限遠，死咗未？等一下喎，因為9星死嘅。5V。
Momochi waking up with the security blanket. What are we gonna do? We gonna EX.
你搏佢唔係咁搏㗎。哦 ，Lucia 我贏咗啦，雖然係可以咁搏，但係唔使咁搏啊，即係有個揾咗啲嘢方法。又爆咪，我校唔翻細聲個咪。依家開咗台之後，佢嘅咪又即係固定咗，喐唔到佢。
That burn kick, the light burn kick used to be 0 on hit. It's +2 on hit now, so she can get pressure afterwards.
Beautiful. I mean, you saw Momochi almost ready himself right there and getting called low. Ketsu doing a much better job in neutral. Staying outside that stand, medium kick grade. You see, still
Cody 嗱咩啱啱一血打到第一格血嘅時候，好難死聲。
It's interesting because Ketsu is playing a
一見到街霸就會好興奮。
not using the fireball.
我係講 trade combo， 呢個是幾勁嚟嘅，拳好似可以贏4-5點左右。跟住如果你用腳嗰個係贏3點，屈機到爆，你夠姜出就得㗎。好可以啊！咁搏好咩？二蛋係。哦，一個後打實咗。
Ketsu twice in a row now, taking round number 1. Let's see if he can seal the deal this time.
Yeah, Ketsu did a good job. Usually when he has Momochi in the corner, his meaties are on point, so you see Momochi just waking up with a block, not wanting to test that again.
見到呢個打中嗰個 Bingo 係後面都震埋，就知道係 level 2。
So I'm curious if that's something he's trying to save for a little bit later.
喂，靚狂腳。
Single hit confirms. Let's go.
Great walk out of the tick throw and a clean punish from Momochi.
一下打翻埋場，一下打翻出嚟。呢個我唔知點解佢就唔出。會死喎代表。
Okay. Yeah, and now that's a new combo.
cancel 埋 VT 唔緊要。Cody 應該一個係輕嘅開 VT 嗰啲。哦，咁滯又死啦！先死唔去。
Look at all this
唔死啊！都話唔死㗎啦。兩計算先，不反喺度。哦，令佢哋俾人鏟。
Yo, and he's even got the prison outfit and everything.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it. Oh yeah.
Oh man, nicely done by Ketsu. And again, as we mentioned, this is 2 out of 3 here to start off. So they're tied 1-1. I'm curious, the interesting thing
第一次輸喎，佢又喺邊度嚟
？To counter this, but again, Lucia is just one of those characters. Like, I feel like her neutral is not her strongest trait. I'm surprised that Ketsu is not using a lot of fireballs. That's kind of how I've learned to use the character a little bit, but it's working for him. But and you can see once.
其實咧啱啱第一燈嘅時候，冇嗰時都係好彩先贏。要私人得 combo， 如果唔係咧，我嗰時已經出咗局，即係已經離開咗，已經跌咗落嚟。
That could be a reason. And
啱啱想開 V 啊，
Mochi
揾個
again,
唔
that's how
夠
he
嘅。
started this round. He's built up
咁啊，呢個位就真係
pushes that we know for,
靚
but
聲
wake up from Ketsu and get some breathing room back.
Yeah, watch out for the V skill now because he wants
哎呀，
to
確反
activate.
佢好想開 V 啊，所以就攞爆 V
Trying to see
skill。
about V skill. Okay, so he goes with the sweep instead.
Very smart. Considering what Mochi was trying to stay out of
咁啊
range of a lot of
減4一
activated
定要用
options.
佢。
Just goes with the
嗱啲扭
sweep.
嘢可以唔用。
Lying back on that stand.
呢個中腳都幾勁嘅
Mistake
呢
is hitting the
個，呢個中
process.
腳。
Man, his single hit confirm off that stand medium kick is so good.
呢個中腳
But what a
去
V shift and V break
嗱中腳
and
去
a
哇又呢
the
招
EX Zonk,
全
the
遊戲最
money-
強嘅招式，
The money move right
即係
there.
我唔知有咩可以勁得到呢招。輕攻擊可以搏，
Mochi
打擋咗加3，攻咗就可以彈牆再搏招。
Your EX special move that goes
要勁快咯，我睇住，我睇住佢。
Skip the neutral.
God, now he's using that standing medium punch too. Cody's just one of those characters that it doesn't look like his moves have as much range as they actually do, but that standing medium kick, that standing medium punch hit
喂，
mad
一個大家都係咁個中拳，
And right there, again,
我嗰時有
Mochi's ready
confirm
for
咁啊，
heavy
老師人
on deck, stand medium kick, catch it, Ketsu grabs,
爆
holding up
死啦，
back.
應該係死
Now
咗
we're on
啦
the。verge of stun. Oh,
死咗啦。
we're seeing stars, and Momochi is seeing a birth in
咁啊
top 8 winner's
top 8
side.
Momochi in a
Cody 又
position
贏
that he has
睇可唔可以
found
較細
himself
聲啲
in
嗰個
many,
咪意思
many times. Winner side, top
應該都好
8.
慢
Like I
嘅。
said, I mean, look, Ketsu obviously put up a really good fight here, but Momochi, man, you got to imagine that he's looking at
Cody
his
係唔
bracket
會
and he's
輸
like,
嘅。
man, I don't got to fight any of those guys down there. At least not yet. So until winner's final. So he's definitely sitting pretty right now. So let's take a look a bit back on this match and see how Momochi ended up taking this again. A lot of those standing medium punches, a lot of those standing medium kicks as well.
Yeah, clean zonks to follow everything up as well. We saw EX to skip the neutral and get in. We saw the regular charge zonk just in general to get clean hit confirms and get optimal punishes off any opening he had. A very intense first round.
依家較細聲咗少
Came down to the wire. Could have been anybody's game.
再較細聲咗
Yeah,
少少。
defensively,
睇下會
Momochi,
點
you
先
can see, gets caught reaching a couple of
依家
times. Right?
點
He
啊？
kind of repaid Ketsu towards the end of the game because of that.
Look at how much meter he spent, so much meter there.
雖然我都唔知，我都唔知
I
會
mean,
唔
that is
會。
one of the tough things about Lucia. A lot of her moves are like kind of like multi-part, and so she ends up putting a lot of scaling on herself. But there was no scaling on this combo here.
Nah.
Momochi finishing it off, and he will face off against Yusama in the winner side. It will be Cody and Macaulay.
Yeah.
On the winner side of top 8.
And yeah, I mean, if you're Momochi, I feel like you're right, man. I think you're biting your bottom lip at this bracket. Like, you like the way it's looking for you up against Usama with the Nakali. He's no joke, of course, but I think Momochi is very ready for a character like Nakali, right? That's the type of game he wants to play. Grounded, even if you're fast, he's used to the high-speed characters like Ken,
下
like
場獨
Cody.
孤拿對
Like, he's
Usa，
not afraid to get down.
哇！
and
但係
get
Julie 打
really
Bison
set out.
我
So
覺得
definitely a good look
好
for
地獄喎
Momochi.
呢
We're
隊
going to see him tomorrow as well as Usama, of course.
一
But
隊
we
拳冇
gotta
得打唔
configure
制
the rest of that top 8
Bison
winner side,
贏緊。
beginning next with Dogra and Yosan.
Yeah, Yosan using pretty strong character as we saw from last weekend with Just a Kid. Of
Yeah.
course, all
依家
these
應該
Dream players getting
依家應該好
carried
啲啦，
by
係咪？
the
打一
character
半，
now,
睇
man.
下
I
點
mean,
先。
come on,
They
dude.
carried from Just a Kid, carrying them to beat the West Coast, and now carried them to a Midwest victory. Nah, but
Say we need a
You
you
don't-
play jury chant now, dude.
呢種輸出火力、輸出同埋立拳腳都係
yeah, definitely big ups to
Bison
Just a
okay.
Kid. He's been holding it down
Yeah,
with
for
the
sure,
jury.
for sure. I'm teasing it. I'm teasing it.
Yeah, 100%. And just like Yosan, right? Yosan has really been holding it down with the jury in Japan, has been showing out with the character for quite some time now. And on the other side, we got Dogra, who is a legend in Japan, right? Has made a lot of waves in pretty much every game he's ever touched. We've seen him Evo top 8 qualifier, Evo
Dogra
finalist
個
qualifier
樣
Dogra.
咁啊，而家全部都係老人家對戰嚟喎，
Yosan
34打
as well,
70
as you
歲，
mentioned,
30
with
歲
the
以下
tail
冇
of
得
the
打
team,
機。
James, all these players over the
Man
age of
eater.
30, they've been around the block a couple
咩叫
of
man
times. They got
eater？
that veteran experience.
Woman
I
eater，
don't
我
think
知咩嚟
anybody is going to be looking shook here in our winner side bracket.
Let's go, old man. Let's go.
Let's go, old man！老人家之
I
戰。
mean, let's go. But let's actually take a look at what Yosan thinks of this match coming up
We
over
got some
here.
sage wisdom from the old man.
咦，有玩家 coach
That was one of the toughest
That was
walls
one
ever.
of the
But I made it
toughest
to top 16
pool
and want
ever,
to
but I
continue
made in
to
top
win.
16 and
If you
want
took a
to
look at
continue
these
to
pools,
即係而家嚟
it's not
講
lying, bro.
個 pool 好難打，
Like
但係我
every
出
single
線。
one of these pools is like a
撲
top,
線炸緊
a
自
top
己。
bracket at a major tournament. It was ridiculous to see the level of competition that we didn't even get to see on stream. So big ups. A lot of the players did stream
好難咧
their
喂
runs in，
借
pools,
波啊
so
Usa
some
嗰
of
個
that action. Definitely
Twist
go out and check
講嘅
out the
嘢。
various streams around the block, of course. But We are at another top 8 qualifier. It is going to be Dogura versus Yosan. Going to be Bison versus Jury. Definitely a match I'm intrigued in seeing. I think Bison could do a pretty good job on the ground, but with the way Jury players have been playing her, she just looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's interesting because Bison, you know, one of his most famous buttons, that standing medium kick, causing people nightmares since the original release of this game. But now, Jury's standing medium kick has always been a problem. It's just that the rest of Jury wasn't that much of a problem. But now we are in a situation where you've been hearing people complain about that standing medium kick all
Constantly. Constantly. I saw just the kid's own teammate complaining about the stand medium kick and how it carries the Jury players. So I understand. I understand it is a force to be reckoned with here. So we're going to see how Dogura kind of handles it. A player that has dealt with plenty of BS in fighting games, right? So he should be used to someone being very cheap, and of course on his end, he's piloting a very cheap character in his own right with the Bison. I mean, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Jury's still not too much health, so she's going to be exploding if she ever gets hit in certain circumstances, but I'm expecting Yosan to bring the heat as well.
And, you know, all the Jury players at home are being like, man, what are you guys giving us crap for? We've been suffering for like 5 years, dude. Jury players deserve to have a strong Jury character. So, you know what?
Well, what was just the kid's CFN name? Just a foot lover or something like that?
Oh, God, let's not talk about that.
Jury 咁就大 buff，Bison 就少啦。
You know what? It was just like Capcom's like, we gave her 2 new costumes. We gotta make her good.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
不過我都覺得
Very smart. That's the way you gotta get it done for sure. This is actually one of her cleaner costumes too. I
Oh
love
yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
no, for sure. Shout out.
有啲揀呢個
One
場
of the costumes.
不過佢哋打個場同埋
This is really
即係 Capcom Fighter
like
見到個場好似係唔係一樣
Yosan。repping with Dogura. Wow,
Wow.
showing the first crouch medium kick
見得
confirmed. You can see the Oki getting the dash forward, even on the back tech, still with
咁
the
啊
throw.
開 V
That's
先
cheap.，
都
Just like
兩架 V 早啲
talking
開
about
V
this
可
kid's
以
name, and Yosan's
可以用多次個
been
V，
romancing
幾
Jury, so
They know who they like.
千千
They
之
know
前
what
我
they
第一
like.
次
They
見
know who they like.
我第一次
And
見
Capcom
Bison
does too.
Meanwhile, we
哇
got
我想打後
Devil
跳，
on
你
the
識
other
佢
side.
What
with
the-
Dogura.
有冇咁好彩啊？
Toss
達到
out
個
of the flip kick.
達到個收
You thought you were
個
airborne.
即
Psych.
係
Oh,
打個
man.
收
That's
個
a
場。
delayed flight right there.
Oh,
You're
that
still
one,
That
grounded.
was an execution error by
可以啊
Dogura
可以
right there.
啊
I think
推
he
埋
was just
邊
trying
啊
to do a crouching punch or something like that.
推埋
He
邊
came
呢個
out
後就
as
死
a
咗。
psycho flame instead, and so he's
都幾勁
down this
喎，
round.
即係跳得幾好，幾次跳入都幾有回報。
Dogura with the threatening walk.
Bison got one of the most intimidating walks in the game. Yeah, I love him not
Like that.
overextending as well, right? Not just committing to the dash, really
Like
trying to take
that.
it
呢個波
slow
咧
and patient.
數字上就寫減二，但係基本上咧你出得都係加，因為佢唔係叫佢嚟出。
And he's so slow in this game, and the good Bison
搲
are
完
the ones that are willing to
哇！
walk.
竟然咁都冇對空
Yeah,
啊，
exactly.
好明顯
Like
喎跳
Dogura
得。
can still see the value in that.
我打遠過你。
They see just a slight
哎呀
walk
大
back.
鑊啦！
Stays out of the range
我
of the EX
幾時
reversal
搞
as well.
掂？
She's paying
Stop.
dearly for that.
Howard.
Oh no, it's on the verge of stun. That means you gotta
I'm
guess the
going,
game, and
huh?
he's
When
doing
the
a great job right now to
I'm
stay
going.
disciplined.
Okay,
Challenging on
okay.
the way in as well. Got the
嗰
big trigger
邊又
activated
教
on
可以
that.
啊！
Oh,
哎呀
tried to go，
打到個
versus
打到
throw
個
over
hand
the
都冇用。
by Dogura. There's that standing medium kick.
呢個中腳係係咪
Ooh, I like that. Takes the shimmy
Game
go
to
back
get
to the
it.
corner, but an air to
Tough
air
game.
from Dogura,
I
stopping
know.
the momentum, getting the
I
empty
watch
low
him.
off the EX as well.
Wait, but tough
Beautiful
game.
setup and
好似
execution.
5 film， 5
Dogura
film 之後
tying
第
it
二
up
比較
1-1 here in game number 1.
唔記得咗。
I just want to say it again. You know, like so in the first of two in the
Oh, come on,
holy
damn it.
Japan CPT.
哎呦，想數啊，然後
Oh man, oh, we've already counted
Come on, high low
top
又嚟啦。
8 qualifiers. Getting Yosan and Dogura for the third one. Yosan back to the corner once again, but he's fully loaded
哦
on resources.
唔俾你
and a
貼，唔
beautiful
俾你
reaction
double
on that
reverse
one.。
哇！呢個係級喎。
Steals the fireball.
Ah,
and
cảm
now
ơn
he's
ạ.
got one charged up
Rất
in his
sấy,
own.
rất
Couldn't
bị,
reach it. No, actually doesn't
真係
connect
推到
with
啲
that.
開。
That's really
呢種
unfortunate.
兩格 V 都
Yosan fully
係
loaded. He's looking for a confirm
冇
right
咁多
there to go
冇咁
into
多
the
時間，
stop.
係慢慢。
Waiting for Dogura to see when he was going to
Yeah,
spend that
唔掂㗎。
fireball that he had
都係中條可以搏
collected.
中腳，
Used it in that pressure sequence right there.
Nice range. Oh, actually charges the V-skill as well.
好快㗎。
What's the
不過佢有兩
resources
hit 嘅，
instead?
第一 hit 唔掂啫，
Nothing. He
第二
doesn't
hit
go
冇
for
咁快。
any EXs. Gets the hit here. Next hit will probably go into a critical art to take it. But the V.
哦，學反啊！哎呀，咁樣 fan 俾佢啊！
Yosan leaving some damage on the
佢
team
是但一
right
個
there.
可能中腳 C 就死
Let's
咗啦
recover。from
哦，
that.
冇嘢啦。
Oh, more execution errors.
突然間 fan 俾佢，你至少噴埋個三分打咁樣 fan 咗。
Yosan gonna capitalize off that heavy and take a 1-0 lead.
That's the same execution
Yeah.
error from the first
啊，
round.
連續
where he
連續
came
fan，
out with
連
the
續死咗兩，
psycho flame.
即係第一次死
For no
咗
reason,
，Julie 已經
Dogura
救一救，
definitely
即
looking at
係
his joystick
冇殺
right
佢
there. He's
啦
like,。 What is
第
happening
二次
here?
又
Yeah, I mean,
殺
maybe
咗。
somebody could afford most of it. It's like a hard read attempt, some of the high-level option that he's going with. Remember, Mr. Crimson did that EX yoga flame for full screen. It could be something we're missing, but like, yeah, it's looking like an execution error.
Oh,
But either
man.
way, Dogura, like we said, he's been around the block before. He's had stuff like this happen to him at very high stakes, so I'm sure he's still going to be composed
咁啊
despite
點咗一
that
下
first
嚟
game.
啦，嗰邊係搶掣，
Right.
因為 hang 腳
He
之後
managed to
波係
steal
唔
that
係
fireball,
唔係
so
咁
he
好。
does have that trick,
跟住就咁。
you know, locked and loaded, ready to
司
go.
令
Chooses
點型嘅
to
埋身，
extend it on the combo.
靚啊！呢下哎呀，咁
And
都係唔可以，
Yosan
都
decided
要
to
放埋
go
個
with
break
the
佢。
V shift, V break.
咁啊，好似
But
感
of
覺
course,
上
the
嗰
2-bar
個
V trigger, he definitely has
咁
a
啊做好多
lot
時
more
間。
room to play with the V shifts.
And Dogura looking to challenge up that target combo.
學板
Yosan a little bit
啦
too。close on that stand roundhouse, gets punished for it.
3-frame light kick that Bison.
咁啊，見到司令有鏟咧，司令有 VT 就佢會好鏟得。
pressure.
始終行得慢啊嘛，嗰個踩就打下，
reacted to, and Yosan taking that corner back as
即
well.
係仲可以睇住開 VT。
Here we go to pressure
即
coming
係
in hot,
好
cracking
好
the
吸引
neck
佢
real
踩嗰
quick.
條。
Staying at max
如果得
range
閒
with the
咧，
punches
阿
as well.
Julie 都會後貼，
Threatening with a CA cancel.
所以佢都會
There he
即係
gets
得
the
閒就
activation. Cycle clutches
可以
in
學
play.
反
Ah,
呢
not to
個有
safety,
有 left 過
never
都
mind.
唔知。
Yeah, we're gonna get activate off the EX this time. Just tries to check the low in case
好
Dogura was
咁啊，
worried about
人
the
人大
throw.
波衝過去。哎呀！你想前，佢想前跳追咗個後跳啊！
What a presence
跟住
of
俾
mind
Julie 一腳
for
踢咗落
Yosan
去
to。hit that button on the way down, because at that range, a lot of time you're just jumping away to run away. But as soon as he saw that dashboard from Dogura, he's like, nah, hit the
home.
button. Okay, EX,
點
nice
㗎
hit punish right there from the scissor
唔
kick.
得，
So
一
now
下冇咗
towards
400、
the
300
corner,
幾嘅。
Dogura
喂，
with
一
his
下打
back
翻轉頭，
fully
攞個
against
key
the
同埋埋
wall.
身壓制。
Yeah, right. It's, despite having the stage advantage, like a lot of the time he's had the screen space, but Yosan has felt so comfortable even with a minimal space to
我應
move.
該 Julie 應該冇得救。
Oh, and then waking up with his
似
hand
俾你打到個
a
重
long
拳，
distance
炸你
and
咯。
confirmed it too.
Here we go. Activation. Dogura challenges.
Mày à,
but then gets
tụi
caught.
nhỏ.
Here we go. Time for damage. No.
Ồ,
Okay.
ủa.
Okay. I love the
呢個好
use
似
again of
9定
V
10
shift.
咯，唔記得咗。
When you have that life
Ủa,
lead
sẽ
like
kìa.
that, you're like, you know what? I'm
即
gonna use my
係
E
擋
gauge
咗加一，
now for
中
the
咗
to
加
get
3，
victory.
Yeah, exactly.
以前加3，跟住之後又快。
And Jury now. Again, we found ourselves in the
Tôi không-
same spot, round after
Bây
round.
giờ mấy hội
Yosan is
mấy cả
the
chiến
one
thuật.
up with the W's most of the time. See if Dogura can finally find some way to jail up Jury in this corner effectively.
搲。
Look at this, the gray life. Both
Wait,
players
wait.
not
Tôi hút
wanting to
qua cái
receive
sân
damage.
tôi hút.
Jump medium kick and not punch.
Yeah, true, good point, right? Maybe just reacted to something at the last second.
嗰邊
Here
㗎
we
，Julie 就
go.
開
Gets the
啲啊。
activation.
咁啊，Julie 揸身就贏㗎。
Nice
咁呢個重腳咧，
challenge.
其實有
The
啲危
three
險
frame
喎。
button.
如果 Julie 啱啱
Again,
cancel
light kick
招
from
咧，
Bison
就
is so good.
可以打爆個 hang 腳。
He's putting some damage on her in the corner, trying to catch her
Ah,
moving
hầu như
forward
cầm
with that
lắm.
EX
Cái gì mà
double
cầm
kick,
lắm.
not quite just
Quay
yet.
à, cái
Ooh,
cầm.
he's skilled,
Cái
kinda
cầm
switched
này
up the
đầu
rhythm on
sẵn
Dogura.
rồi.
He
Bò,
wasn't expecting her to
đi
keep
mùi rồi.
going.
哎呀，減6啊，冇
Dogura
地
chance
邊
to
邊。
activate here. He's
都係
gonna
中
get the
段，唔
confirm.
係
Doesn't
反
go for the
哇
side
呀，
here.
估到你開鏟啊！
And Yosan reading the fact that he wanted
Yeah,
that
see?
slide into Cycle Crusher, just
Yeah,
walks
kinda
out,
see,
jumps down, and punishes heavy.
Oh,
Tries to
God.
go with the air throw.
Oh,
Oh,
see ya.
there's the confirm right there. And now
喂，靚喎，但係
She gets the punish, but still anybody's game.
哦，打中啊，明明。哎，呢個波大鑊，哇！你咁都唔對空啊！
Oh,
靚
Dogura
搶。
has challenged after
用生命去搶啊，臨尾嗰下。
light kick every single time with
Yeah.
that light with his own
Yep.
light kick. He is not scared, and I want to check like the frame data situation with that jump light kick at the height like that.
I mean, yeah, to me, that definitely looks like anybody's game.
Saan
I mean, that's 3
Naman
frames.
ko
That was at
kaya,
the
dude.
top. That was hitting right
Yung
on the
ganda.
dictator hat.
Saan may
but
yan, no?
I think that was a good challenge. I mean, obviously, it wasn't hindsight, but I understand Dogura doing it. He tied up the set on a nail biter.
Dude, like I said, I think that was like the third or fourth time that Dogura has done that, just blocking the jump attack and then just going for the light kick afterwards. He is not letting Yosan get a free jumping light kick at all.
It
Okay, not
happened-
that time.
It happened after her target combo, too. He landed one time with the target combo, and he challenged there as well. So Dogura has not been getting bullied on these jumpers, even when
因
he
為
does
Julie
an
細嚟
anti.
㗎嘛，所以佢嘅進攻咪要多咯，進攻多咪多啲嘢睇。你俾碌咁樣跳2下死咗啦，咁樣
Using
碌。
that EX scissor kick to get in again, plus frames and oh,
哇呀，上咗空對空咧就俾 Julie，咁啊佢唔確反呢下，啊唔係因為有波啊，
throw back to the corner.
不過有波冇記錯都係即係
And
贏到
Dogura's
4
looking good
點，
right now. Oh, he tried to get the throw bait, but Yosan, it looked like he threw a normal
死
action.
㗎啦
Ends up
Oh,
catching it either way. Now we got
boy.
the
喎，仲未
activate.
離開到版邊
This。is scary.
咁啊，個姑娘幾好，哇！ 減二升，我自製個減二之後升嚟，個姑娘即係呢個強陣，連續估咗幾次，後尾終於估錯。咁啊，個姑娘又係咪呢個就嚟死嘅位置啊？
Oh man, yeah, that minus situation right there. Going with the EX.
哎呀，嗰個三個
S it worked out. Is able to DP in time to catch that devil's reverse. No free entries for Dogura. Okay, he's got the fireball again. No, actually, he did not get it. He missed it. Yeah, he just tried to throw it there. I think he thought he had it too.
前得你咩做？爆炸大鑊啦，死咗啦！唔使打，唔使整暈佢，直接殺。
So here we are, final game, final round here between Yosan and Dogura.
That's
what I mean by Momochi's kind of happy to be on this side of it.
Exactly.
He's like, I don't
know. These
are all monsters down there. You can see it exemplified in the fact that we're in a final round scenario to go to that top 8 winner side. Yosan fully loaded on that CA as a big threat for any hit.
Definitely has the advantage thanks to the resources right now.
哇！我差唔多50嘅白血一下打，收手。
There is a challenge again after the jump light kick.
咁啊，繼續喺度拉打。哦，確反係個呢個炮 whip 咗啦。見到 Julie 獨孤娜成日咧望住對方跳翻去後邊，呢3、4次咧已經出現咗3、4次，即係佢由最右跳到最左，跳到對翻隊友。哎呀，跳到啦，大鑊啦，大力㗎呢個。
And just like that, he has
咁喺個埋牆，咁就好難走啦。波 V 揀推走佢啦。哦，膊頭。前得死咯喎，一下死啊呢位。
Because he knows, right, Yosan wants to move forward, his trigger, he's at a life deficit, and right there, that time Yosan was waiting for the EX as a kick, he didn't want to get caught.
Julie 又開有 V， 但係冇乜機會可以發揮到 V 嘅顏色，因為條 V 條慢慢喺度跌落去。一下
just one more hit now for Dogura.
My goodness, Yosan, he's thinking about his approach, but there's so little risk.
哇，行埋俾人打，哦痛啊呢個。
We got the corner, CA is on deck.
CA 可以
saves it for one
呢個咪防
more
唔到
hit.
咧？哇！俾人一嘢波頭波死咗。 哎呀 ，Yosan 贏咗。
Yeah, James.
因為啱啱
continuing the jury momentum right there.
啱啱獨孤娜跳埋去俾人打，真係嗰個失誤真係好大，大到可以俾人咁樣殺翻轉頭。
That has got to be we already saw a heartbreaker from Ketsu earlier, you know, with that V skill 1 missing, and now Dogura there. What? That was such a weird situation when he jumped in and like. Nobody did anything. He just landed and got thrown by Yosan. I'm not even sure what Dogura was trying to do in that situation. And no jump attacks came out at all. And that was all Yosan needed to just get the pressure going. Because you get that V-trigger activation, you got all those plus frames, and it just becomes terrifying.
Yeah, the only thing I feel like maybe I thought.
如我所料啊
I thought I saw a jump
Dyson
medium come out.
雖然個過程都幾驚險
Even then, I didn't see it come out quick enough to where it's like a messed up head stomp. You know what I mean? Like I really am not sure. But either way, Yosan, he has taken every single opportunity that Dogura gave him and made the most out of it. Right? We talked about it in the first round too. A couple of execution errors costing Dogura the game. So definitely a heartbreaking way to go to losers. But Yosan, if you're in that position, that's exactly how you got to respond. No mercy. For sure, so big ups to the man.
呢個就係布基拿打加士冠，呢個難打嘅，呢個最高，我覺得最高水準嘅對決咯，呢4個 winner。獨孤拿打加士冠，不過應該獨孤拿贏啦，唔係即係加士冠贏，唔係布基拿打加士冠，應該布基拿贏。呢種拳手好勁。
So they're just like, oh, I'm gonna go get some food and like chill and relax now. And
依家應該即係話輸削咗咁多鑊。
And we are gonna chill and relax for just a little bit. But before we do that, just want to remind you that was a crazy comeback down there.
如果獨孤拿，如果加士冠贏咗咪打獨孤拿。
But definitely once again want to shout out Street Fighter Duel. The Capcom authorized mobile game, you know, Street Fighter Duel is now available to download in China. Again, that global version is coming soon. We promise. We swear it's coming.
一路都出嚟，大家試玩。
and it's time to fly and fight along with Ryu, Chun-Li, and Ken against the Suzaku Castle background, further into Shadaloo City, explore the mysterious organization, and experience the classic stories with all of your fighters, and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Your Street Legend is now back on track, and as you mentioned, you want to get some of those alternate costumes into.
Please, please. I know it's too late for 5, but give me them at 6.
And of course, you know, this game has all sorts of your favorite fighting game elements in there: counters, stuns, combos, supers. It's just an impressive array of fighting elements, and the associated combos offer you a new battle experience challenging your combat skill. This game is available, as we mentioned. Download it now if you are in China.
快啲下鋪啦，唔好成日都討論呢個街霸對決啦。
Join the journey with
因為畫面
millions
唔
of
適宜
players
大佬
to
咁耐。
become the best Street Fighter in the world.
I promise, Capcom, you put that Cammy Street Fighter Duel Alt in 6, and I am a Cammy main. 100%. I am about the army, but we'll see if we get to that, of course.
Take my money.
Yeah, for real. But right now, we got 3 of our top 8 qualifiers in the books. We got Yusama, Momochi, Yosan. We're going to find out who joins them when we get back. When we get back to Kugera and Gochiku. Don't go anywhere.
賺唔到錢啊嘛！你冇得抽 skin 抽角，跟住打副本，跟住喺度farm錢。街4咁樣你都係角色得咁多，你俾錢咧都唔會有啲咩好特別嘅嘢，所以佢唔會賺唔到錢啊嘛啫。
When you go looking for strength, it's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending. Okay then, hope you're ready to begin. If you want to start off on the right foot in this city, hit the streets.
Yeah, hey there, I do this. Never fear losing. And when I get up in the game, you're up here improving. A real problem, but I solve them all facts proof. And if you think I'm going forward, then you talking fool.
呢個係街6嗰個，呢個係咯，呢個係佢播個 trailer， 升龍拳升個冠，呢個已經係舊時代嘅產物啦喂，呢個 trailer。但係真係見到然之後識得打，佢唔使入去揀個畫面嗰啲，好似啱啱佢即刻入去呢個 battle 嗰個畫面咁。嗰太多牛奶味。
Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
This will be a good fight.
呢個又係差唔多出到，好似6月尾啊冇記錯。因為佢唔係打晒成個，佢打3場咧一個廣告，咁唔係應該打晒4個 V 打出一個廣告，即係一 part 一 part 咁樣完整啲。佢係好似不如你打兩，即係打即係搶2嘅打即係1之後播廣告好冇？
Had quite the fast and furious start here to the only Japanese qualifier for CPT this year, with Usama, Momochi, and Yosan finding their way into the winner's side of top 8. And now we're going to find out who's going to join them between Pugera and Gachikun.
Two monsters of the Japanese scene right now. Pugera and Gachikun have been holding it down. Of course, Gachikun, former Capcom Cup champion, man, has been a monster in this game for quite some time. And Pugera has pretty much put your favorite player in a body bag multiple times.
Yeah, Gachikun, of course, a former Capcom Cup winner.
Yes.
You know, definitely you get that prize money, changes your life out there in a good way. And again, like
哇，30歲啊，最後生嘅選手啊，呢兩個。
I was gonna say we got some 90s babies instead of some 80s babies. Let's go.
God, are you really born in the 90s if you're 30 years old already?
Yeah,
okay,
speaking from experience.
Okay, yes, Balrog versus Rashid here, and of course Pugera does have the poison as a secondary character as well, so I'm curious to see which way he's going to go. But Gachikun, of course, as we mentioned, former Capcom Cup champion, and was able to defeat Itazan in the grand finals, and you know, as got to be one of the favorites coming in here. This guy's got the experience here, so let's see what he has to say about this matchup coming.
Of course I will win. Maybe. 哇，個 maybe 個頭盔戴得幾好。
That's a quote after my heart, honestly. So that's definitely the energy I like to bring to life.
Yeah.
Of course I'll win. Maybe. Yeah, definitely good. Big ups to Gachikun, right? He's definitely won at the highest level before, so he's looking to get back on that mountaintop. But I'm telling you, man, Pugera has been looking lethal. I've been watching this man in Topanga League. Okay. He has looked ridiculously good. Like, I'm talking about every type of rush punch being spaced perfectly. He's got the dragon screws if you want to neutral jump him. His whip punishes are wild. He's got taps. He's utilizing everything in the Balrog arsenal. And yeah, as you mentioned, he's got the poison on deck too if he feels uncomfortable in the boxer matchup.
Yeah, both of those characters were just dominating all of last year so well. We saw so many of the players. I remember for the Capcom Cup, you know, obviously we didn't get to have a chance to do the final event last year, but out of all the characters that qualified, I believe Boxer was the highest one. I think at 4 qualifiers. So, you know, he was doing really well. And you know, a lot of people didn't name him as one of the best characters, but he fought a lot of the other strong characters well. Like, he was good against Dhalsim. He was good against Poison. Yeah. So that was probably one of the reasons why he was able to have success last year. But Pugera is going to be trying to bring that same success here tonight, right now.
Yeah, I'm expecting the Balrog. I was going to say up against the Rashid, definitely in my mind.
不過其實對 Rashid 基本上就係
on the ground, the rush punches
有係
making
都係
Rashid
嘅。
second guess anything.
因為歐美嗰啲地方咧，佢凌晨4點先開波，咁我播唔到。又喺日本，哇！因為我確反咯，因為我可以應該冇希望確反。
This distance right there.
睇 ABK 後邊加油。
Game Obviously, because you want to stay out of that range. I always talk about this with.
呢個對決基本
You
上
want to be at the range where
基本上
you're either too close, so you can
我先向後
punish
行
the
嘅，
light
一定係
dash punch,
即係推唔到，
or
即
you're
係
too
即
far
係
away,
要
so
咁樣
you can whiff punish.
抽到獎先至可以還過
Talk about
咁啊，主動權一定喺 Bison。
You already see right there, crunch countering Pugera on the way in. That range is going to be critical throughout this set.
喂，咁啊，
Oh, and
影咩下？
That's one of the things that you do, right? When that range is so important, then you start sneaking and
呢個
dashing
成個對決
because
就
they're
係
looking for something else.
就係咁啦。不過推咗埋牆之後，拳手要阻止或撕個三角
Not
條
even
都
sure if
都唔
that was planned that way, but
咁啊又
we'll
又
take it.
最右推到最多超
Oh,
級
the back
牆
switch wild
上
tries
偷
to
雞
get
偷
it
唔到，
overhead, but
哦後
Gachi's
邊啊，
not going to get bullied whatsoever.
咁啊個風仲喺度，
He dribbed that right away, dude. He
Oh.
didn't wait at all.
亂咁撳掣，個風變咗4 hit 咧，卜到好多。啱啱就係想撳掣，跟住之後個風，跟住之後就揩到個風就死咗。
Trick that Pugera pulls out, catch him off guard.
All right, back to this neutral here. Again, this distance. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Ross
咁啊求其跳啦，冇
moved
死。
like that as well, just showing how
繼續講
confident Gachikun is
持
in
續
this
防禦得意志
neutral.
破反喺個。
Exactly right. When your opponent is threatening
不過
to
加之
run
官
from that
佢
range,
冇乜
it's
信心
tough for you to
佢
get
用
something
下輕腳
started.
確
Sometimes the sweep is that
可能
tool.
佢有時因為佢經驗，可能佢已經發生過唔少次飛散嘅經驗，用個下輕拳一俾人打翻轉頭，唔夠完，所以就預防萬一，回收白血一定要
Oh,
下輕
look
腳。
at that. You see him walk forward like that.
但下輕腳就冇得冇得搏招，
He was
都
able
爭
to
幾遠
block
啊
it！and punish it from that range.
Yeah, you see Gachikun not really fishing for much. Again, back to those heavy punches.
呢個中
to stand
中又
out
咁
of
啊
the set when he can punish the
個
rush.
Oki 同埋個傷害都火
A
盤
little bit
靚啊！呢
miscalculation for Gugera. Didn't do the light one, but here we go.
咁啊，正頭啦而
Big
家
damage off of the trigger activation. The Gachikun's got
屈機
no
屈機
trigger
模式，
now.
Yeah, most
有個
definitely.
風喺度，
He
屈機
got
模
caught
式，
trying to activate it last time with that stand roundhouse, but we're back in the corner, already shoved him. But no, the
死都唔
discipline
喐
from。Pugera.
Yo.
My man is
唔
not
攬
reaching. He's fasting from tech
因為
throws.
嗰個指令頭係令到自己死，所以只要你唔出咧，
A lot of
咁你就唔會有出現
resources
指令頭
for
打空嘅敵
This isn't gonna kill.
但係你可以引到對面跳啊，
Oh,
夠自己
Critical on
Wow.
Rio.
my.
Not going with that ride.
一中就死。
Wow, that
你可以，
expensive way
不過唔係咧，都冇咩
to
好可以。
risk that, and maybe
有 ET 唔
that
出
was
喎
his
呢
logic. Like, oh, there's no way I would do
Right,
this
okay.
on a second round. So Pugera's definitely gonna try to meaty. I feel like he
靚
was so
聲啊
fast, he might have even eaten
原地跳都俾人清翻落嚟。喺拳手咧，原地跳係一個好嘅選
Just
擇。
saw the screw up.
咁啱出46P 嘅話咧，就會食嗰個，就會食嗰個原跳嘅
Gets
攻
the
擊。
crunch counter as soon as Gachikun tries some. Might have been looking for
但
that
係
activate
咁
with
啊
that stand roundhouse.，
會俾佢升翻落嚟之後就個 46P 都
Bread
幾
and
緊
butter.
咁啊
Don't
死
get
咗你
close.
應
He saw him walking back, thought you could move forward, but that's
Come
not
back,
the
like,
right move.
該。哎呀，個風打唔晒，可以打翻
right
人。
now. But Gachikun's
How's he
gonna get
getting
the
that?
activation, and he's still got
Wow.
3 hits on that thing he's got there.
哇！
That was
我係咪
nasty.
邊
The cross up at the last moment. Catching Pugera on the neck.
B 反都唔俾出，
Throws the B reversal.
哎呀，執到啊！但
Finally, the light
啊，
punch checks from
布
Pugera.
基拿1比0。
Stopping this run from Gachikun. I mean, Gachikun, that was a good 2/3 of life right there. You had to have definitely been feeling a little nervous, but Pugera, nicely done. And again, I feel like a lot of that came down
下一個
to
就係
that
南
wake up super
咩即係
from
西美
Gachikun.
For sure.
Very strange choice, in my opinion, but
中就贏啦嘛，
yeah,
同埋個升慢啊，
yeah.
And yeah, right there at the
個
end,
升
I
慢
feel like
咧
Pugera's kind of wake up delay.
即係變咗得唔高。
Give him a slight hesitation. Just
但係
see if
CA
he
快
goes for the
咧，
play.
咩就可
It was
以
just a
即係
slight
對面
hesitation
jab 咗
that
擋唔
Gachikun
切，
on the
個
way
升又
back
擋得
to
切
it.，
所以依家啲為輸食條 CA 嘅，
Jump himself. We talked about the
即係如果你
upper
賭嘅
from
話，
Pugera, and yeah, Gachikun is
死未啊？
also stopping
死
the
喎叫，
neutral
應
jump
該未死。
himself. Gonna get the stun.
Yeah, because neutral jump is honestly good against both
Wow,
of these
that's
characters. And lots of long range buttons and whatnot as well. Ooh,
Bam,
that's
bam,
the
Bison.
double fierce, the crouch fierce, I should say, stuffing him in the corner.
Yeah, similar way, just checking that forward movement. Gachikun going up 1 round.
The spinning mixer also from Rashid, right? Something that takes him across the screen in the neutral, something that you could bait out with the neutral jump.
And I do always appreciate Gachikun using his costume for Rashid.
Yes.
哎呀，玩做咩升？做咩兩個一齊打？喂呀！即係 P 其實應該掂到啊，我覺得喺個動畫喺個拳頭線見到，但係
Trying
個
to
hit
catch
box
the
係
reach
做
of
唔到。
Pugera's disciplined defense has been
啊
immaculate.
，Yes
Yeah,
方
I
壓
feel
埋
like
佢。
Gachikun maybe has got to go for the throw a couple of times right now to try to get Pugera maybe a little bit more nervous about staying and blocking that whole time on
Yeah.
defense.
哇靚喎呢個，
Start the
哇
kick.
靚兩次，
Ooh, he goes
有
to
咩
the
見到個
wall.
靚就靚
Looks
兩
like
次
it's a。crunch counter after
死咗
it
咯
finally finds the overhead he's been looking for. Pugera on set point.
應該可以用指令頭埋單。
Gachikun now Coming into
可能佢
this
驚太
round
細。
with almost 2 bars. Gotta use everything he's got to be able to try to.
哦，呢個全 game 第27嘅招式，
Getting
咁都
set
吸
to
唔到。
lose his bracket. He's not out of this yet. We're
哦，
still
你唔會玩先，
That's our last top 8 qualifier.
爆炸
match for the
中
winner
傳
side of the bracket.
飛，可以搏第二招啊！
And now Gashikun not looking to go quietly into the night, has the corner control.
哦，行埋俾人搭，
Waiting
哇！又嚟爆炸，
Crushing
死
the
㗎啦
glass on the other side.
And now Pugera is in such a great position now to get to that top 8. No activation on that
死㗎啦
head kick.
Yeah. Wonder
哇
why Gashikun
強姦啊！
maybe this is out of range hit.
咁係咁3個跳咁咪即係諗辦法
Now he's
呃
gonna
到佢。
side switch. Oh, a couple of
哇！
times.
兩個 is 嘅，係咪好事咧？真係我反嚟個，但係儲唔切氣，因為儲一次。
Oh,
See you.
what? I'm not sure what Gachikun was trying to do. Trying to jump?
Yes.
Looked like a forward jump right there. Not sure what he was trying to get to, but wasn't expecting Pugera to dash forward.
哇！
You know,
拳手
you
贏
talked
啊，
about it
大
in
執
the first round,
激
right? When
juice
you're
啊！
sitting there
我冇
trying
還
to
擊之力。
manage your distance to make that dash punch whiff and stuff. You're opening yourself up to be dashed in on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Pugera did. And Pugera now is the 4th player to get
咁啊，
to
打完
the
Winner
top
啦
8 winner
咁
side.
啊
They
Winner
are
就
all
係
done.
嗰隻
Kusama,
力卡尼啦
Momochi, Yosan,
惡魔池
and Pugera are
跟住
done for the day. That is
Yusan，
Nakali,
跟住 Julie
Cody,
同埋
Jury, and
同埋
Box
呢個 Pugera
in
入到呢
top
個
8
top 8
winner
winner，
side.
咁又下邊
Something with the dash
就
punch
76打打
opens
水
up
打8
the
場。
door to you, because the fact that you have to worry so much about that range when Balrog has really good stand fierce, crouch, medium punch, all these normals that you have to take into consideration on top of the dash punch, there's just a range where you feel very uncomfortable in, and that range is prime for dash blocks too, right? So he just gets in, catches them off guard, thought he would be able to check the dash in time, and he doesn't, and Pugera takes that top 8 winners qualifying spot. And I mean,
就係
Pugera's one of my
200幾少人啦。
favorites. He has been just
咁就輸咗嗰啲就落
absolutely
loser
the
啊
best
嘛
player I've seen，
都係贏一場
in
就
the
top
world
8
on
咯
this ball，
不過得翻一條命。
Yeah, so he's going to be going up against Yosan. He's going to be fighting against Yosan's Jury. So that's going to be it's going to be all punches versus all kicks.
Yeah.
Oh man, but now we are going to the elimination matches. We are heading down to the
咁啊
losers
loser
bracket,
咁啊
as you can
Yanai
see down
對
here. And this is,
Nisiki
of course,
Jesse
where we
對
start
洛基度
losing
，Daigo 對摩茨，
players. And the
呢個
first
詞對
one
啱
is
啱佢
gonna
條，
go
呢咁惡
down.
嘅 loser
It's
嗰
either
邊
gonna be Yanai
，Winner 嗰邊反而就好
with
善
the
啦。
G or Nishiken, who has just been the
咁啊
Blanca
Yanai 就知啦
loyalist
，Nisiki 就
for
friend
like
㗎，
his
即係時候
entire
冇知邊
life,
個，
and
洛
I'm
基度應該
here
碌
for
㗎
it.
啦。
I'm so glad to see
Daigo 又
the Blanca
Daigo 就
representation
加油啦，
here
摩茨
in
就
Japan.
印度佬
I。think he made top
啲時
16
呢
in
個
a
時
couple
就
of
加
the
油，
Japan tournaments
因為嗰時
last
就
year. I mean,
碌
they had 4 slots last
咁
year.
就
Yeah, man. And
That
I'm
don't go
very
hard boy.
excited to see
Amanda.
this. G, I think, is a character a little bit underrepresented in Japan, so I want to see what Yanai brings to the table. And our youngest competitor, by far so far, at the age of 22, so he's going to be bringing a little bit new flavor with a new character. While on the other hand, as you mentioned, Nishiken, a Blanca loyalist, in and out, right? Always going to be on that character. So I want to see, of course, Nishiken, and he's been kind of experimenting what I saw with on Topanga with the V-Trigger 1 as well, not just the V-Trigger 2 Lightning Beast. So he should be prepared for that G.
Yeah, Nishikin almost twice the age
Yeah,
of his
straight
opponent here. But again, you know, I love the fact that he's representing this Blanca. And Blanca's just one of those characters that it's weird that you don't see a lot of him, right? I mean, I don't think he's I mean, I think he's a pretty strong character overall, but you know, I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of players that commit
你 call 時間呢兩個人
dedication to the character
call 到
that
可以
Nishikin has.
Yeah,
Call
that's an interesting point to
到
bring up,
入戰
too.
嘅畫面
I'm kind of trying to figure out why. I think that might be because Street Fighter is supposed to be like a footsie honest game in a lot of people's minds, and even though it's not. And Blanca is that character that throws all that out the window, right? He is like very much the one that embraces the wild style, like wants to get in your face. The chaos, exactly. So that might have something to do with it, but I mean, Nishikin has played Blanca forever, so either way, he is a man that knows what's in his own heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And Blanca players are trolls. I'm just saying, dude.
Right. I mean, I'm with Lupe. I remember Gold Watch. I really hate Blanca too, man. Like, it's always been a character that has annoyed the hell out of me fighting against, and that's what the players on that character thrive on, though,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Like, they're always looking to mentally break you. That's what the character does. So that's why he's like, the players are a troll because the character's a troll, but that is how he's played the most effectively.
Yeah,
So.
and again, you know, he is a knowledge check kind of character. Now, obviously, at this this level, you would assume that most of these players.
兵架對 G 啦。
Again, 44 characters in this game, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tough one here. And Yanai, of course, going with the G. We haven't talked much about.
兵架其中一隻奇怪角色，
Very strong.
所以佢即係贏唔一定係因為即係對勁啦，因為對心唔識打。冇其他兵卡同冇其即係如果你個電打兵卡，就除咗揾啲時之外，都揾其他嘢。咁你下場同佢打，佢冇理由揾咗電。哦，呢個屈機嚟㗎，無論佢點飛都好咧，都會食嗰個 B skill。哦，仲有一次機會啊！
The great equalizer. Everybody can get gripped
up.
You gotta guess for the game. Oh, you gotta guess for the game instead, Nishikin says.
啊，應該開 V 啦。
OV ships out.
哦，我呢個可以對空佢。
呢
個46P 嚟。
Nishikin taking round
number 1.
I like that. Very good stuff from Nishikin right there. Just going with the horizontal ball for the anti-air new, and a great confirm off that crouch medium kick. So Yanai's going to be threatening with that V skill just in case he comes in with a Blanca ball.
And that, you know, we talked about the range that Balrog wants to be able to dash punch at you. Blanca has a similar range where he just basically has like 5 options. But Yanai has been doing such a good job stopping a lot of that with the V skill 1 and with the crouching heavy punch. There's a lot of good anti-airs on this character.
咁就改咗，咪即係改咗一個3之後佢嗰個，哦呢個，改咗可以出呢個2嘅招，以前就一定要出呢個三。不過都好耐啊。
And so maybe he was thinking that Yanai would, you know, be a little tentative on that maybe situation, but Yanai going with the low punch into the tick throw.
Yeah, right. I think Yanai was like, I got enough of a life lead to risk this.
唔係呢個基本上好多人可以對到空。 好似有升到，除非好似啱啱即係 G 用 V skill 對咁，因為嗰個範圍太大，好易 whiff。喂，咁就等一下再博超。
Range on that neutral jump heavy punch. Yep, trying to use it again. One of the rare only buttons in the game.
Yeah, Yanai has a failed buffer right there. Just ended up coming out on block anyway.
咁啊黏住俾知肉，只要開唔到 V 嘅話，知暫時都冇成日機會。
He tried.
對唔到空啊，跟住撳掣對空對唔到。
Nishikin is gonna come out in time and stop whatever it was that Yanai was trying to do. And Nishikin taking game number 1 with the incredible Hulk colors.
Yeah, my man froze the screen just to get jumped in on anyway. He was like, "Oh, perfect! I definitely know what's happening now."
It was like
until you don't.
It was one of those, you know. At this moment, he knew he messed up.
But he thought he did it. That's what
你第一燈都要將個 spin 轉去呢個人嘅位，可能轉。
What? You saw the crouch fear try to come out.
人拉兒可能
I'm not sure. I
轉
thought
嗰
the
啲咁
crouch fear,
嘅
considering where he was at, was probably the best option for him. I don't think the backers would have worked. I don't think the V skill would have worked. So in that instance,
he just got checkmated.
Yeah, I mean, but Blanca's jump heavy punch has always been one of the best jump attacks. We've got a champion edition machine just right outside the store. I can show you. I can show you. That jump heavy punch is really good for Blanca. It's always been really good. And Nishikin showed how strong it is here in Street Fighter V as well. It is 1-0. Yanai probably going to stick with the G, stick with V Trigger 1 and V Skill 1. So no changes from either players. Of course, Nishikin can't because he won, and that's part of the rules. But here we go. Game number 2.
Yeah, man, same loadout for Nishikin as well. I believe you could change your loadout on a victory.
But
he's not doing it anyway. We see no change from G either. It was just kind of an
wow,
attempt to reset him a little bit.
Wow, keep your gun out,
He actually does end up catching G swinging into it. He is trying to bait out that V right outside the way Nishikin's still looking
confirm into the Blanca ball there. And now just kind of walking him back down. Nice block. Micro walk in the block. It was probably a whip punish.
死㗎啦
I
喎！
really love that.
但係推完咗就我最驚，都係咪一下死啊？唔使打喎。
And now we got an activation,
Wow.
expensive one, and just
一個
a
就直接
blockable
用
to
用
respond.
嗰個發腳，一個直接撞。佢兩個諗法已經超越咗呢個一般人。
I don't care.
多數咧一般人係諗啊打頭就一個就直接掛落去打解頭，一個就直接撞。我唔知打乜嚟㗎。
However it was, it worked out for Nishi Kid. He's at
靚啊！
look
屌
at
喎，好
the
犀利㗎！
tall G's, hurt box way up there to get
哇！
thrown.
打空氣之後再追唔係有計。
Tall,
Hey,
being tall
what's
is pretty
your-
good life unless it's planes or fighting games. That's not the best.
哇！咁樣撞嘅，
Rainbow ball getting through the wheel kick.
咁啊死㗎啦喎！運氣都喺佢身上邊。
Oh, what a block!
Oh,
The hesitation though.
Bum,
Catches
bum,
the counter
bum.
here. My man's just rolling.
There's that
See
V-trigger
my-
one you were
撳
talking
住嚟打，
about,
唔全
and
部一打。
he's gonna take
Yanai.
it with that V-trigger one. Nishikin eliminates Yanai, and he will be moving forward in the loser side of the bracket, but he's not done yet because he will have to face off against Gachikun in the next round. Oof.
Yeah, it's been cool watching Nishikin use that V-Trigger 1. I mean, I'm not really used to Blanca in general, but when I do see Blanca, it's a lot of the time the V-Trigger 2.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like him going with that V-Trigger 1. It gives him a lot of reward off the solid hits he does land. You can see the Oki situation.
咁啊
is pretty good as well. So
佢都呢招勁咯，廿拉兒好似而家方面都
he
冇
will
咁
use
勁。
every aspect of
呢下任跳咁滯，呢招都勁
again,。I mean, obviously this year the
你得意下啦
definitive patch
好咯
came out, which was just like, what was it, like 900 pages of changes in
Yeah,
there and
yeah.
everything. But you know, one of my favorite things about that patch was really the parity that they created between a lot of the trigger choices, and we've seen a lot of that. You know, Blanca's trying V-Trigger 1. We talked about earlier how Cody's use the knife now, how Lucia's have switched to the V-Trigger 2.
之後大家
There
試
is
過
a
啦，
lot
大家要等死
of,
嘅咯。
I like
俾
the
佢
fact
打
that for a lot
或
of
者係
characters
戇
now
居。
that decision
咁啊 Jessie 打頭呢度。
is actually kind of is depending on your matchup. There's a
Yeah.
lot of reasons to change between the triggers.
Like we've seen Akali use V-Trigger 1, but today we saw V-Trigger 2. Same with the Kage.
Yeah.
We've seen V-Skill 1 today when we usually see V-Skill 2. So everybody is really making their rounds with the characters thanks to the definitive patch. And it's great to see, man. That's what the V system was supposed to kind of enable in the first place,
Yeah.
right? Being able to pick the same character but kind of change these key aspects depending on the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it for a while it was, you know, pulling off the third strikes and situation where
Yeah.
it's just like you pick Aegis Reflector,
Yeah,
you pick Aegis Reflector, you know, you pick Hoyokusen. That's it. You pick Ganajin. There's no question. But you
可能
know,
係最後一次㗎啦。
fortunately, we live in an age of patches now. So.
Yeah, exactly.
即
And we've seen
係
even some of the most dominant V
我唔係好信
triggers,
卡
like
奇
players
打到
are
咁似。
trying to let them
即係我
fall
睇太
by the
渣。
wayside if the matchup favors the other one. Like I think we've even seen Shuto use V Trigger 2 with Urian, right? Which is one of those where it's like V Trigger 1 is supposed to be the end all be all Aegis Reflector, just like Third Strike. But it's cool to see the players exploring different options depending on the matchup.
Yeah. And of course, the next match we have coming up here is going to be looking more like maybe what people are expecting here. It's going to
Oh,
be
no.
Tokido versus Jazzy. Luke mirror match.
Nice. I'm about this, bro. This is the Barefoot Messiah right here. He's bringing us into the new age, but he's making a cameo in Street Fighter V before doing so. So Jazzy versus Tokido. We got another 27-year-old here, so a little bit younger than we've seen the rest of the competitors. And of course, Tokido, I mean, we don't even got to talk about him, actually. We're going to talk about Jazzy first and what he's got to say about the match before we hop into it. Stop my flash knuckle. I dare you. I double dog dare you to stop my flash knuckle. I like it from Jazzy, of course. You got to watch out for that, right? If Luke does charge it up, it's plus frames. If he gets that V-Skill 1 installed, it is plus frames. So if Jazzy's one of those guys that's going to be bringing that to the table a little bit, kind of like that wild style, unpredictable, trying to flash knuckle randomly, I'm interested to see how Tokido handles that, man.
Yeah, but Tokido, you know what? He's probably like, no, stop my flash knuckle.
Oh, so that's an interesting point you bring up because I've been watching Tokido and Topanga, and this man, like when it comes to Luke, he just plays like he knows the character is mad good footsie-wise, and he just relies on his fundamentals as a fighting game player to really do his damage. Like I watch Mago and a couple of the other players using Luke, and they were the ones kind of using a little bit more flash knuckle, or they're using like forward fierce. A lot of the shenanigans are more in their wheelhouse. Tokido still like I don't even see him use forward fish.
咁啊，
He's like, I will use that
原
medium
來係碌
punch.
打碌。
Like I will use
Oh.
back medium
我
punch.
有一個係
And
腳
just
刀
in
啲。
general, like the real solid stuff from Luke.
Interesting. I mean, that was kind of what we saw from his Urian as well.
Exactly.
He was using Urian.
Yeah.
There was
Oh,
a
係噃。
lot of footsie standing
咁啊兩隻
medium
碌，
punches and
咁啊
crouching
藍色嗰隻
medium
就
kicks
呢
and
度，
stuff. So
跟
it'll
住
be
背
interesting
心
to
嗰隻
see
就
how these two
係
styles clash over
啊
here. I mean,
Jesse。
heck, I mean,
哦 Jesse 原來
his
係
name
ISA
is
有最知
Jazzy,
嘅，
right?
最知
He's
嘅呢個。
definitely gonna be trying to
因為
go for a
ISA
lot
嗰
of
隻係識9寶龍
improvisation out there.
啊跟
See
分
if he can handle.
好睇嘅。
Did he Tokido add another 7?
意識咁細，而且我淨諗起有個人，
Just to let you know.
唔奇嘅，有啲新星
There's like
咁
4
上下噶啦。
before, wasn't there? I don't remember. Huh.
That was a nice sweep from Jazzy right there. And my man.
即係街唔知開始玩嗰啲人都係廿幾
Oh,
歲。
I do not think that was supposed to be an
街市嗰啲老屎忽就
I think
3，
that was just maybe
好似 Tokido 咁
supposed to
樣。
be a walk forward medium punch.
老人家大戰，
Oh,
得嗰啲佢40
stand medium kick there though. And yeah, I'm telling you, like
街六
the stand medium kick is what I
系統好
think
勁
was figure buns from Luke.
一 film 啱啊，一 film parry，跟住啱啊冇白血無
Yeah,
眼
of
血，
course, that standing medium kick did get nerfed a little bit on all the
有
cancels.
perfect
and
parry，
everything
跟住
like
又
that.
有嗰啲
Recently,
即係有1、2、3大技，
but still,
Yeah.
嗰啲大技又一定出到嘅，有啲似歐慘，
From some ranges,
因為一定出到咧，所以
Yeah, we'll talk about Luke
所以
getting
即係
nerfed,
隨時
but
可以
he's
即係臨
still
尾
a
你可以
good
救，
character.
因為你冇其他方法可以用啊嘛，
Oh,
一定
I
出到
thought
所以
it
咪一
was
定
a
出。
hit.
Yeah, same. Just outside the range.
Chip
What had
damage
he?
is a threat.
啊，一下
Scary
先死
part
啦
for
，OK，一個下中
Jazzy.
腳撞佢
Tokido
先就
just
死。
feels like it right now.
咁啊，Tokido 應該唔好做
Everything
先
goes to a super,
唔係我
but
執
he
死咗。
gets to save all of those resources for the next round.
Yeah, and despite Luke being a super cheap character, like when you see this mirror match, it's
Man,
gonna be just a
come
lot of grounded, hit confirms, footsie bait.
係啊，啲
fireball.
神大就係啦。
See, it went down to 22 seconds.
佢係
Most of the
啲
time,
system
if a corner scenario doesn't happen, it's
好
gonna be
勁
a
啊！
slow, methodical match.
Okay,
Oh.
checks the forward dash from Tokido this
誒
time.
換埋邊，
Oh,
不
side
錯。
switch combo. That was
哇！呢個有啲曳喎，呢
Whoa,
個
what
確
is
實添。
going on?
Yeah,
咁我睇下
And
係咪真係勁到？哇！
Oh,
使唔使啊？
Single hit confirmed just like that.
my man Torpedo
有
coming
時啊
through.
咁多個反波拳都好
Oof,
啊。
but a lot of scaling on
如果唔係話一個失誤
Yeah,
咧
he's
就
still popping off as well. Has some
一個
good
失誤
trigger
就
action,
冇三
risking
格
the。jump and
wow.
catching the
Oh,
crouch
mà
medium kick as
hạt dây.
Torpedo puts out a button.
Yeah, the empty jump into crouching medium.
咦唔
kick.
射埋個 VT 嘅，
Oh,
我
and
仔
then just gets
求其
caught
射喺
by
中
the。Sandblaster. Ross
因為如果
Sandblaster
system 太勁
so
咧，
fast, catching Jazzy
呢隻 game
right when he
就
decided to walk
可以好
forward.
鳩啊可以。
Tokido again. Here in the losers bracket, sent here by Momochi, and you know, like you're like, he's in the
但
losers
係
bracket. Who sent
我
him?
見
Momochi.
佢又
Yeah, right. Yeah.
即係暫時見唔到啲 system 好似好 balance 過，
I can't
全部
remember
都
if
係
it was
照
Momochi
搬翻
or Torpedo, the matchup
就
I
玩嗰啲
saw, or I think it was like
但係問題
John
一
Taguchi,
system
I think
勁係一個就算啦，你個個 system 都咁勁，咁大
Cole
鑊。
seems like he can give Luke a little bit of trouble, to be honest.
Okay.
So we might be looking out for that later on in top 8 if we run into that run back.
Alright, back to this footsie game over
Yeah.
here.
Standard stuff, right? We haven't seen Jazzy bring out like a forward fierce either, to be honest. And he said stop my flash
唉，
knuckle,
突
but
出
I
嚟
haven't
先
even
知
seen
嘅，
him
講真。
for like a V skill into a flash.
如果冇睇，佢冇 show 到個
knuckle
扣血個
or
情
something
況，
like that. I would
同埋
like
啲
to
拳
see
腳
him
軟
back up and take that.
即係有時卡技都好勁啊！你出嚟，
Well,
一個重拳之後
it's
踩，跟住之後中拳
right?
攻
Like
佢。
at this level,
跟住啲小兒
Tokido
麻痹
doesn't
咁
even
樣。
need to stop the flash.
啊，吹奶吹奶入邊嘅畫面
Should be very
真係勁
comfortable
嘅，
throwing fireballs.
即係唔可以
Neither
咁
of them are，looking
你唔
for
可以
jumps
咁
at all.
Yeah.
Like they are just
即
standing
係你
on
唔
the
可以咁
ground. So
咁一
unless
致，
somebody's gonna bring out like
係
a
太多伏啦。
DP through a
加
fireball, I'll just
上
be throwing fireballs all day.
即係特登整勁咗咯，吹奶，即係企度俾你打
Tokido was
球
definitely
王咁
not
樣。
ready for it. Taquitos had a history of being a little bit weaker.
加拿不嬲唔波聲㗎啦，啲拳腳勁。加拿不嬲都係拳腳勁到撲街啊！春力波係春力波同埋 flash kick 係輔
Look
助
at。the, oh
Shit.
yeah. Oh no, we
Oh,
had the V.
俾你 V 反
You know what?
俾你開 V
Taquito
嘅
was probably like, you know what?
不過
I'm
開唔
gonna
到 V 咯，
suspend it so
因為
that
碌嗰個
he
V
can't
好難
come
做
back.，
佢又唔可以，
Yeah, no comeback.
即係佢用嗰個 V skill 咧又
V trigger off the table.
用嗰個
right
V
there.
skill
But
又
now he really rules the neutral, right? 'Cause
哎呀
as he
我
gets
唔
this
都
full
知
screen
啊
now,
啦，
Jazzy
有個 V
cannot
skill 又
combat with the
難
jump
儲
fire.
嗰個 VT，
Oh,
哦
but he does have that powered up V skill, so that's a decent confirm off the light kick.
Knocked out
哦，
the
墮一次地啊，
cross,
拜
but
拜
it。was too late. Can't believe that was too late.
Ouch.
And now Tokido,
佢升返落去
at
嘅。
that time, was able to build back one bar as well off of that super. Interesting though, because I remember, I think the last CPT that I commentated as well had similar situation where people were
咪喺度
trying
摸
to get
摸
other
到
people
有
to use their V reversal. You know,
依家立輕拳確
like
反啊，好
bait
好容
people
易
to，do
冇以前
that.
咁難。
Yeah, you can see it sets up a checkmate scenario like it did at the end of that last game. Tokido was like, I will sacrifice this meter so you don't have something that can combat me at full screen.
Interesting. Oh, Good check.
Yeah, they'll take the target combo. That's a decent knockdown, but Tokido, he'll live with that.
呢個好犀利㗎，呢個一直可以咁搏，幾慘！以前就重拳之後撞 level 而走嘅，應該加下運啊呢個。咁啊，接咗新巴，哇，接到就到我回合啦，CA 埋，使唔使啊？哇，Tokido 係咪直情係唔理個血量有 CA 度出？係嘛嘅啦呢個。24，咁出就冇。真係24呀，而家下邊幾時出咧？咁啊拉翻後，等一個 with， 哦唔使啊 ，What is with？
second to throw that sandblaster, and maybe the whole time Tokido was walking backwards, he was measuring Jazzy's forward movement, you know, seeing the rhythm that he had, and he's like, I've got it now. It's like that sniper in all the action movies, you know, where they're like, take the shot, wait, now.
Judge the wind speed and whatnot. Well done.
冇計，真係好快。其實呢個咧唔係睇畫面嘅，睇角落頭嗰個 V 八，一扣就即係出啦。即係你睇到佢伸個波出嚟已經太遲。
When it comes to that type of game, so got some more experience than Jazzy and just in general looked a little bit more comfortable in that type of area. I really honestly wanted to see a little bit more shenanigans from Jazzy. I would have liked to see some flash knuckle charges, even maybe a V-trigger too to try to get the special cancels and the special cancels or something like that. But either way, Tokido going to be moving on. What I think most people figured would happen. So we're going to see that fan favorite a little bit later.
Yeah, and his reward is to go up against Dogura in the losers bracket.
Nice.
So Tokido's got to fight Dogura coming up next. So it's going to be that's going to be a good match coming up. But of course, the next match, I know a lot of people have been waiting to see this guy play, which of course is Daigo Umehara. But of course, we're going to take a quick break before we get there. But Daigo versus YHC Mochi, these guys have fought each other plenty of times. Yeah, right. Dude, that was the most genuine oh no. Oh my God. Like, I felt, dude.
I didn't know.
You were watching a video of the dog on the balcony. You're like, oh no.
Wow. We've seen Daigo versus Dawson for a really long time, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, but again, just shout outs once again to Street Fighter Duel. The Capcom authorized mode.
喺個畫面啊，即係準備我打3場喎，
即係
又要唞一唞啦，又要睇廣告。佢嗰個
Street Fighter Duel now
3場唉，咁啊依家得翻幾多場啊？1、2、3、4，得翻6場。咁啊打咗2次，咩叫3場
？Street Fighter Duel all in Street Fighter 6, bro. I needs it. But in the meantime, we got some other suits that are going to be unlocked. It's going to be the CPT track suits. You know how we get down over here. New tracksuit costumes are coming your way. The event's winning character will unlock the following Tuesday, so it's time to root for the players representing the character you want to see get these new costumes. So again, let it be known in chat, the colorways are actually kind of ridiculous for these tracksuits, so big ups to Just the Kid. I know all the jury fans out there very happy that the rest of her colors have been unlocked in the process, so we're going to see who gets unlocked this week when we crown a Japan champion for CPT.
Yeah, but again, oh no, the next match coming up is going to be Daigo versus YHC Mochi. You do not want to miss that match. That'll be coming up right after this break.
呢個啱啱嗰個位啦，呢個扭鏡即係幾好啊！呢個個面脹咗幾好，型，呢個幾可愛。出嚟咧喺個吹奶度隻眼好細啦，依家睇就隻眼幾大，條眉怪怪地嗰個。呢個好似 FADC 又呢個 FADC 又即係佢有跪地有空中牽，即係佢就可以搏升嘅啫咁，咁好搏，咁唔係好勁你。但唔睇 X 嗰個呢招勁啊！呢招好似擋到係側壁，中咗又跪，超犀利。有女玩。 個 Key 哥嘅係咪嗰個嘅 hitbox 係咪長咗少少咧？係咪呢度都係 hitbox 嚟 ？Invisible DP for the SFV loop will hit its meter， 即係要起先升到。但係今次啲戲都幾貴喎，一樣喎好似。咦？又好似唔係喎。輕又打縫頭，中又打對空，重又打擊固定 ，smash 就算啦。咁勁呢個用幾多資源咧？呢幾型喎。呢個哇，3格2格半，哇！你差唔多俾晒佢先有嘅呢個。嗱咁已經3格啦，跟住咁樣又2格幾時嚟？哇！咁樣一下俾5格，超貴喎，幾大力嘅，即係你要長期5格以上你先至做到呢啲嘢，好貴喎，唔係一般嘅貴。有時打到中間咧，跟住發現唔夠氣咁點算？A 係會停一停畫面之後再顯示，咁奇怪，乜成日呢個廣告嘅？睇唔到啊！
Let me have some fun.
Let's get this mission started.
GG 睇嚟成為最後大贏家，15都冇咁多人玩，即係冇呢兩個喎，呢兩隻舊屎忽 game，街5係我唔知點解仲有咁多人玩。呢個咧，我諗緊呢招咧有冇得 cancel 咧？即係咪一定要 hold 住呢個樣，跟住之後先出得咧？如果你 hold 住呢個樣先出得就，同埋點樣打爆佢？你見到咧佢 hold 住啲血唔扣嘅，同埋打機係輕佢都唔爆咧，咁我可以做啲咩咧？不過我見有冇得 cancel 暫時，如果一 cancel 就屈機，如果冇都可以接受下，我覺得。喂，唔該碌落去嘅。
And welcome back to the Capcom Pro Tour, everybody. I'm glad you have joined us so far for the
I
intense matches out of Japan, as we always expect, and we are here in the losers bracket. I am Ringe. I am joined by James Chen, and we are going to see a heavy-hitting matchup next. Daigo. Oh no, that's how I felt when I heard that this match was the next one coming up. Is going to be Daigo Umehara, the most legendary fighting game player the community has ever produced, up against YHC Mochi, the Dhalsim of Japan. This is the Dhalsim I first heard about out of this region when I first got into fighting games. So this dude has been holding it down, I mean, as long as Daigo, to my knowledge, when it comes to the fighting game community.
Yeah, and again, you know, Dhalsim, was another character last year that was really starting to show the strength, his strength as a character. Remember when the first patch came out, all the Dhalsim players were like, "Our character is ruined." And then it turned out, wait a minute, our character's kind of good.
Yeah, just a little bit.
呢個冇想象中咁型，呢個係三格騎士嚟，但係一點都入動畫，即係佢唔係飛出去。佢唔係好似出嚟咁樣即係飛埋去踢嘅，咁都幾勁，唔會吹嘅。呢個 level 1 ，level 2係咩啊？呢個 level 2，呢個近嘅波，一個近嘅波，遠嘅波，3係真星。咁你交流勁啲喎，交流 level 2係狀態技，即係你唔使話入 combo 先至開，狀態技好緊要。呢個應該可以博照嘅。呢個你可以博照險可能仲可以博照，始終用必殺技用下咗架氣啊嘛。上面一架氣爭好遠，上面一架氣用下咗架氣之後，即係好似 CA 完之後仲可以博 yes 技咯，世界 combo 嘅 combo。你知唔知應該係曹氣國嚟嘅？睇我。
I mean, this is kind of how the Japan goes, right?
即刻變4個走，即係狀態技。
A bunch of names up here. Where's the Sakos? You know, like all these players that
John Takeuchi, Mizuha, the list goes on and on. Like it's wild.
1-3。
And we're gonna lose another one in Daigo or YHC Mochi, but again.
咁啊，Daigo 打 Mochi 啊，成日打，不過好似 Mochi 未嚟過。
That's just what happens. That's the nature of the tournament. You can't award everybody.
It's just a testament to how
呢個係美國嗰個 Stunfest 嗰個 exhibition 嗰個，佢擺跟住 Capcom 擺幾台街錄喺度俾大家試玩。咩樣子嚟？個 CA 應該唔會話咁你3格起一定用3，呢條 level 4，唔用 level 1，應該唔會嘅，都係波拳波腳，跟住之後可能兜前拳咁樣，俾個8字女，都唔咩啊。
I tell you, man, when you fight Dhalsim, everything you were just in block zone for. I had the mispleasure of fighting Arturo Sanchez recently, and that was not fun at all.
Daigo finds a big jump in though, and no, the V shift in the corner gets punished heavily with the neutral jump.
佢俾氣又死啊！不過 Daigo 俾人秒咗，話跳輕拳踎輕拳。有啲人咧係咁嘅，特登用啲長啲嘅 combo 咧，儲多啲氣。咁啊，用輕攻擊嘅話就可以有長啲嘅 combo。如果從而一下打呢個。印度都算係今集最強嘅角色啦。哇，靚喎！
Okay, Daigo. I was about to say, man, Daigo is not going to let us see it because he's like, I'm not going to that corner.
即係如果肌肉咧都扣白血啦，呢集唔扣白，唉，不過睇下點，應該有破綻嘅，冇乜嘅，咁啊一下就回收白血啦，好大力嘅，依家咁，即係一個輕拳打咗差唔多200傷害，開 V 啊，閃翻出去啦，咁啊火中辣回。燒咗勁多血，大鑊！冇事，我係中個波添。Miss 波一見到就一跳，對唔切空。咁得唔切啦！如果套拳打中咧就正。冇學反啊，但係死咗啦。啊！唔小心贏咗一下。咁啊，成場都係打嗰時咪退後嘅，之後 Daigo 就衝埋壓，咁啊佢用唔到個 Yes 波啊，或者用嗰啲其他招去衝埋壓制咧，就我冇計。
And we're seeing him plenty nowadays as well. We got Daigo running the Guile, running the Gauntlet. And yeah, he just kind of weathered the storm until he finally found that one hit that changed the game, right? That's kind of how you have to play against Dhalsim.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see another Guile in the next match with Higuchi, of course, the young Guile right there who did qualify last year. But YHC Mochi trying to keep the Guiles from advancing forward with this Dhalsim.
Yeah, now the Sonic Movement actually cut off the button attempt from Mochi at this point. But right now, since he's established such a big life lead, my man is chilling on the other side of the screen, pulling the limbs out.
你再唔插過去，哇咁勁一避嗰個，哦呢個靚嚟嘅，呢個火都好火，超大力呢個後重拳打到個空中 CC 咧就呢個 combo 係咁嘅，超大力。不過兩架氣啦貴咗少，咁啊刀時仲有大力嘅 combo 嚟啊嘛，幾上。我希望即係加入嗰啲刀時係進攻定係防守嘅，加時嗰隻好防守嘅，咁啊基本上有幾遠拉幾遠，加五嗰隻咧就壓翻你轉頭，即係烏火同埋插腳，加入嗰隻唔知點。 我都唔知設計嗰陣時係咪諗住即係可以咁壓制得咁勁，但係啲印度都換家又適應到喎，即係佢會，即係佢真係會，佢真係會衝埋去打，一直其實啲拳腳快過街唔嘅，加時嗰隻係好難加添啫嘛，即係冇加咁容易加。哦！ 放波俾人跳啊！印度都係咁樣，又分到哇咁大力嘅呢個跳入升 CA 400幾，超大力。
Dude, it almost looked like a glitch, you know? Like the last hit, he just like Dawson exploded, dude.
My man, the unscaled super patch notes, something like that. The hidden stealth buffs. That was wild.
Oh my goodness.
Either way, Daigo was on set point now.
I'm glad I didn't make a prediction there because
I would have been wrong too.
That's gonna be the juggle.
好大力啊！呢個下重拳對空嘅射動真係升。當時嗰個閃好似變咗做 air jungle 好似有啲兩年嘅。雖然加油應該要掠，但係見到佢中唔中啊？呢個啲我中。 咁啊 ，Daigo 就哇，咁應該冇啦，應該。佢死守呢個位其實都冇咩好做。啊，鏟再攞埋嗰一格仔，啲老屎忽出局啦。雖然摩池都老屎忽嚟，都係啲30度問嗰啲人。
I love how YHC Mochi played the end of that round after the critical art because I thought he was going to back up and just be like, I got a life lead now. I'm going to make Gao come to him. But he stood in that slide range while he still had V-trigger, right? So he got a proper punish off of Sonic Boom from Daigo. Really knew what he was going to be falling back.
我哋知佢係一個佢唔會搭飛機嘅人，即係打呢啲咁嘅國內 CPT。跟住之前嗰個 top 8有邀請佢都唔打，即係佢係一個。 好勁嘅休閒玩家，但係打呢啲咁嘅大比賽佢又會打，但係佢要佢打啲職業賽打錢啊，獎金賽佢又唔打。哇呀！想對空啊，加油唔好撳掣啊，所以就食呢㗎。我係鏟㗎嗰條，因為 Daigo 都知佢鏟，如果唔係點開 V 咁一鏟就跳。當然做邊，即係有啲人就調翻轉，死都唔鏟，等你跳就對空，都係啲咁嘅選擇。但係未去到咁高境界。 哇！呢個啲曳喎，打中唔可以回報啊！可能插，可能兜火。哇！靚喎！哇 ！Daigo 係咪扭技嚟啊？咁樣做，行過去跟住之後中嗰個 Daigo 跌手，但係都贏啦。佢追埋係行前，之後掃腳。如果佢唔開 VT 又靚，佢開埋 VT 都係戴頭盔，唔開先贏。咁啊而家。
I know you can see the winner right now, but James has left the desk. Somehow Daigo, 41 years old. Sometimes he's been doing this for 20-some odd years, and he still catches us by surprise. He always just brings something new to the table.
All right, I'm back. What the heck, Daigo? How does he find a new way to like just blow our minds every single time, dude?
Son, that was some of like I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to describe that. That was like a mastermind stuff. Like, the fact that he did the little turtle crouch walk and got hit by the super and was like, I'm gonna bring it back.
次次都係差唔多呢個時候就死嘅，即係佢都唔係第一日。
You don't think I'm gonna abandon this though？
係好勁咯，但係永遠都係打職業選手都係，即係都係最後都係輸，即係專殺啲都冇計。
But Daigo used it for sweep in the last instance. He was like, I know you're gonna do something.
I just don't understand how he somehow always finds some new way to just blow our minds. God,
bruh. Oh my goodness! This the walk-up throw afterwards.
好，下個就係 Higuchi 對 Yamaguchi 啦。咁啊 ，Higuchi 就係舊嘅冇乜事嘅，Shinobi 嘅。咁啊 ，Yamaguchi 就係現代嘅 Shinobi 嘅人。咁啊，啱啱離開呢個 Shinobi 就要打翻啲 Shinobi 嘅。
On to the next match on the loser side of the bracket with Higuchi
應該碌打交㗎
up against Yamaguchi.
好似碌打交，碌交
Again, another battle, if I'm not mistaken, between
冇記
the
錯，
youth
哇廿歲啊，
the
哇
two youngest players that we
好後生啊
have in the tournament, 20 years old, both of them.
廿歲
I mean, added
青春
together.
啊！
They're the same age as Daigo and Mochi were, right? So there you go. And Yamaguchi going with the Luke, but of course,
咁又唔得。 唔通我9歲就9歲嘅時候，你係玩嘢。我阿爺9歲嘅時候，俾日軍殺咗我哋。
For the younger players in Japan, Kawano and Higuchi are like the premier players keeping up with. Where's Kawano? See, there's another.
Yeah, that's another one.
Oh man,
prime player not in this top 16.
9歲喎
competition.
咁
That's
犀
in
利
this region, but yeah, man, it's going to be a good one coming up next. As you mentioned, Higuchi, one of the young up-and-comers on the Gaio, but he's going to have to deal with Yamaguchi, another one, 20 years old on the Luke as well. Luke versus Gaio, if Luke can get that V-Trigger 1 started up, it should be a little bit more dominating of a projectile-based ground game. So I want to see if Higuchi kind of is willing to break the mold of the standard Gaio, kind of do what Daigo does and be willing to get a little bit more aggressive. Show the walk forward. Yeah, even the crowd. What if he crouch walks under a sandblaster and then flash kicks him? Like, I'll leave that time. You can stay on the desk and do the rest.
No, we'll both leave. We'll just be done at that point in time. No one's gonna be.
We need a patch in the in-game commentators.
That's right. Shout outs to Jeremy, by the way. It's really cool.
And Aru, of course.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So. Oh man, but yeah, so Higuchi and Yamaguchi coming up here.
Yeah, and we have the Yamaguchi quote, I believe, ready as well. So let's get to that. What does he have to say about that? So Higuchi and I have been rivals since we were 14 years old. All win this time. I mean, that was at 6 years ago, right? 20 years old. That's like right around the time Street Fighter 5 came out. So both of these players, I love the fact that they've been rivals since they were in their teens, now young men. It's great to see the new generation grow because we've seen this, right? Like YHC and Mochi and Daigo both 41 years old. They've been rivals for a really long time too. So this is just the next generation of fighting game player from Japan showing out.
即係呢幾年都係即係淨係打啲近就近嘅地方，跟住畢咗業之後就真係全職打啦。
That these two have just been playing fighting games with each other for a really long time, and I mean, like, it's sad obviously that one of them's got to knock the other one out, but how cool is it for them? Like 6 years ago, they would be like, yo, we are going to play each other to get into the top, try to get into the top 8 on stream at Capcom Pro Tour.
Like, yeah, you got to imagine when they were 14 years old, they were playing each other like similar skill level, I imagine, just trying to get better, right? So it's great to see them both grow and just stay with each other. Nobody's getting left behind here. Both players are getting to that elite status in the world.
Yeah, they were probably back then
admiring
Daigo and Tokyo.
嗰陣咁嘅史多比啲徒弟
They're playing and beating these
係最勁嘅
guys.
真係。咁啊，最勁咪畢業咯。
咁
啊 ，Johnny 啊 ，Yamaguchi 係第二勁啦而家，因為幾次都打到上 top 8。咁啊，第3、第4嗰啲就暫時仲係喺度。咁啊，當然都有機會係因為。史多比本身都人工都有啲人工嘅，見阿藤川同埋阿Hani都喺度，仲喺度。仲喺度，即係仲喺度逗留，就勁即係勁先 grab。即係佢唔係勁，應該係話人有其他地方揾佢，佢咪 grab。好似 Higuchi 咁樣啊，紅本揾佢咪 grab。咁啊，Yamaguchi 又 Johnny，其他人或者啊嗰個咩Kaku嗰啲冇人揾咪繼續留喺呢個，繼續留喺，哇！都真係做，繼續留喺呢個。一邊又唔炒佢，有次特別就好多其他機，好多其他同學。 即係唔止係 Spartan 都有，
corner escape, like just
好
holding
多
up
好
forward,
多
Even
好多
after
game
getting
玩，
hit, Higuchi
即係唔係淨係
is like, nah, I know you're going for the tick.
咁啊校長諗咩就唔知啦。咁啊乜都有，有 smash 同埋。
The throw here, gonna get the knee afterwards. Yep.
不過我覺得你哋幾個即係呢幾個人就好似真係即係養開就養埋
Set up
佢
shop here.
咁，
Yamaguchi a little bit too
都唔
far
好
away
計
to
較
utilize
成
a
績。
lot of Luke's primary tools here.
Yeah, surprise no V break, but he wants
Wow,
to save
man.
that for the activation, as you can see
No.
right there. And he's got a lot of meter there.
我都唔知收唔收錢
as，well.
即係佢哋有冇？佢哋係真係類似係有啲，即係會月薪都成問題。佢哋可能真係即係啲演出費啊、參場即係表演費嗰啲，而唔係一個
Yeah, nicely
即係
done.
而唔係一個月薪或者有
For that kill, just needed to
或者好有
hold on
贊
to
助
single
錢
it
好多錢嘅嘢。
Yeah,
This is
and
a掛
I
名打
respect
二
Yamaguchi getting rid of his V trigger just because he still had that super threat in the Sonic Boom. So always good to have a threat on that option.
哇！試下咁嗰隻都升啊，咁惡嘅
He
咩？
thought that was going to be a sonic boom, and he sideswiped the medium kick, but you know what? If it
呢個
works,
確反
it
啦，
works.
減4啊，減3米。
Ugly
咁啊，
shot.
3偏角色嘅話就
He
驚
didn't
佢
call
嗰
glass on that, but it
個
counts regardless.
驚佢嗰個後輕角度，
Nice
即係可以
shot,
打佢個
but
後
it
輕角
wasn't
度，
a
打
counter
佢
hit either,
嗰
going
個
for the proper confirm.
Alright, yeah. Oh, interesting. Spending one of those bars for the V reversal, so we could probably expect to see a lot
誒
more
死
V
都唔解，
reversals.
呢個換邊你幾大
at this point
喎？
there.
加油有半個波俾佢媽媽，
Here you see Yamaguchi
都呢個濕唔到
in
幾
the
大，
corner here.
唔
Yeah,
可以俾打
back
翻
and
入去。
forth, trying to catch
我哋已經
Luke
解答。
slipping.
哇！
Oh, and he
睇畫
does
面，
the overhead.
Raw overhead out of nowhere.
咁啊等頭重嘅，可能仲差唔多，唔使啦。
But there's the confirm on
咁
that.
就大鑊啦，但係都係一下死嘅。
If that killed, then
喂
Guile，definitely
啱啱嗰
got
個
a
前達
secret
whip 咗
bug
啲
that we
人，
didn't
可以一
know
下殺咗
about.
佢。咁啊，Yamaguchi 真係下殺啦，咁啊要避佢個 VT 幾難避，3-4下，哇冇嘢啦，唔使避。
You gotta remember,
Okay, so I
Guile's
okay.
always looking for that when they got the V trigger locked and loaded for the cancel, and he busts it out at a perfect moment, catches Yamaguchi a little bit off guard.
I wonder if Yamaguchi was feeling the same way that I was. So remember, he used the V reversal early on. So at that point, I was just like, V trigger was not a threat in my head anymore. I wasn't even thinking about sweeping the V trigger
到落去
activation.
咁近。
And so, yeah.
咁但係波完之後可以掃
I
腳
wonder if he
嘅，
was
我
thinking
都唔
the
係。
same.
不過又係
Caught
傳
me
統
by
嚟，
surprise too.
加油嗰個波係特別。 加
And
特
it could be
多
one of those instances too where he
Yeah,
thought
I
about it
can't
at
tell like,
the
yeah,
latest moment, right? Where he like wanted to cut him off before doing it, but he just thought about it the second too late.
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, here we go.
咁啊
There's
由
that
一
break
個
again
擋咗個波之後，又
to
可以
get the
即係
knockdown,
慢慢
trying
推
to
佢埋
push
場。
Guile further into the corner, but Higuchi right now doing a good job spacing,
不如擺佢用
making
回
sure
翻
that
晒，
Yamaguchi's missing with a lot of those buttons.
由一個推
Yeah, I
埋
like it
場，
honestly.
啊開始開遊戲啦。
Yamaguchi can just keep
只要唔好俾無啦啦俾交流
utilizing these V breaks,
搭翻入去咧，咁
keep
就
Higuchi locked
基本上
down,
可以
that's
碌
the
佢
way
屈
to do
死
it.
屈死交
Just
流
putting。good gray life on him. If he gets the hit, it cashes out. And that V trigger, it's good, but I
對
think
空啊，冇
it's
嘢
more
啦，咁都係堅持
useful
唔
in
到。
these scenarios.
But that was, I mean, again,
佢真係手
to
冧。
take that anti-air all the time just to get out of the corner. So Yamaguchi
Oh,
got
oh, yeah.
some good damage, but Higuchi with the walk back to get away from the throw and
Good
have
go
the
ahead.
punish.
再前打，
And now Higuchi setting up. I like him not going right back in. Not going to give Yamaguchi that space he wants to get the activation. You see, he gets close off of those booms. He makes sure he's safe when he approaches.
一下死啊呢個位。
Throw tech from Higuchi. Both of them sitting on a lot of resources. Yamaguchi with the trigger. Higuchi
我開 V
with
又
the
唔得啦
super
而
ready to
家，始終
go.
你開 V 就推埋場
Yamaguchi
先
is
仔，
almost
因為可能諗
out,
辦
but
法
he's
射
got
埋，
the
哇！
super as well.
益時波唔
Higuchi
夠
again spins
有
all
呢
these
啲波
V
咁
trigger
燒得，
immediately, not getting much
因為呢個位
benefit.
又
Just
應
really
該時已
using
經俾夠鐘㗎啦，
Oh,
但係要擋3個
spent the
E-sport。
EX?
Yeah.
That means the comeback is going to be
得唔得
really
啊？
hard.
我唔
5
喐㗎啦呢個位，
seconds
我
left.
寧願俾你
Yeah,
打。
take the throw, stay
3、
on the ground.
2、
But
1，
I
升，
think he's still
一定升啊呢個位，
Oh,
即係升咗上去就夠
Higuchi
鐘。
not even going
所以
I
擋
like
都
it
冇
though
事。
because that EX flash kick, I think it would have taken enough time to not let Yamaguchi get the
Yeah.
punish to kill in time, honestly. Like, he may have gotten one normal in as time expired, but I don't think that would have been enough damage.
All right, so Higuchi now. Again,
Wow,
he
match
qualified for Capcom Cup last year as well. Trying to do it again this year. They've only got the
Wow,
one
see.
chance.
Yeah,
But
good,
he needs
yeah,
one more round at least
So,
to get to
it's
the
all
next
high
round of losers bracket.
如果到頭咧，以為攞嚟俾佢
Also,
壓制，攞
Yamaguchi,
嚟
you see, he's getting a little desperate with the jump ins now. He's trying to find
Ay.
something to make something
學
happen.
反啊呢個。
Doesn't get the hit confirm either. This is looking like Higuchi's game. Oh, the rollback soul block kick.
呢個重拳佢等緊爆炸，一爆炸
Yeah,
先
right now
乜嘢？
Yamaguchi is tough. He's trying to make his way in slowly.
哦呀，吸唔到啊！
That could have been the start.
If that had hit right there off of that whiff throw, that would have went right into the super.
Yellow.
And speaking
Jab-
of
jab-
Higuchi
yeah.
gets the counter hit
Satan.
off the crouch
Over your
light
name.
punch, confirms in the crouch
Wow,
light
Higuchi
side boom
有嘢
super. Higuchi moves
咁啊，繼
on
續可以生存
and
啊！
continues forward, gets to the round of 12.
Yes, sir. Higuchi on that guile, so disciplined. Always one of the premier players coming out of the region, the young up-and-comer. He's been showing out. He's been good for quite some time. And you can see he does it on the guile just out of pure footsies and solid fundamental gameplay.
Yep, and so you
唔係
can see
呢
here,
個係
round
loser bracket
number
嚟嘅
2
呢個
in the losers
確實冇
bracket
loser
is
嚟
all set up. We've
Winner
got
出咗㗎啦
Gachikun versus
，Winner 就
Mexican,
一隻
Doguro
Nikali，
versus
一隻
Tokido,
Cody，
Tetsu versus Daigo,
一隻
and
Julie
Kyohei versus
同埋一隻
Higuchi, who are all
拳
going to
手。
play each other
依家
today
loser 打
to
剩
find
呢四
out
個
who
啦
gets into
，round two
the
有8個
top
人，
8
咁啊贏咗
for
就入 top 8啦，
tomorrow.
又變 top 8
And
啦
we。will be starting with Gachikun versus Nishikin. Gachikun going down to Pugera's boxer. And Nishikin coming off the win versus Yanai, but this is going to be Rashid versus Blanca.
Yeah. Again, you know, we don't get a lot of Blanca at this level in Street Fighter V, so I'm always interested in seeing how these top-level players combat it. We're going to see Gachikun, obviously. His accolades speak for themselves. He's one of the best players in the game. I don't know if he plays with Nishikin a lot. I'm not sure how prepared he's going to be for the Blanca. Like, I'm not sure if he's going to be looking for a standard like V-Trigger 1 loadout or if he wants the V-Trigger 2. I really am just unclear about how he's going to approach the matchup. Like, I think V-Trigger 1 or V-Trigger 2 could do a decent job.
啊，應該打多場先入 break，先入 break 嘅。
The one situation, while V-Trigger 2, you can kind of rely on your whirlwinds a little bit more to play a slower game. But yeah, Gachikun, a little bit newer to the scene than Nishikin, right? But he's been at the top level. He's as experienced as Nishikin when it comes to that high-level fighting game play. So it's really all about whose day it is.
Yeah, and again, both of these characters, you know, we were talking about, you know, because you were, you know, waxing, you know, kind of like, not nostalgic, but kind of like talking about which triggers they're all going to go with. And I really just, again, both of these characters are, especially with the changes to Blanca now, has that ability to go with either direction. So they could drastically change how you approach this matchup depending on what they pick. And, you know, they're going to have to just wait till they see the versus screen to know what they go with.
Yeah, we're gonna end up seeing it momentarily for sure. And then Nishikin on the other side with the Blanca, we've seen pretty much reliably throughout Topanga. I've seen him use that V-Trigger 1. He's kind of just been relying on his solid hit confirms and getting the most out of them. He switched between V-Skill 1 and 2. He's been using the V-Skill 2 a little bit.
Really? Okay,
the lightning attack.
Yeah.
So I think that might be something worth exploring in this matchup, but we're not going to see it just yet at the very least.
They're going 1, 1, 1, and 1.
Stop.
Okay.
Oh,
Thanks,
stop.
guys. Thanks, guys.
Nope.
Talking about all this variety in there. Yeah, we're just going to pick number 1.
Yeah.
We're good.
好咁啊，
No bust down.
兵蟹等死，
plain
呢
Jane.
個對佢真係
Yeah,
太難
and
打。
they're fighting it out right now. In
呢個好似
one of
係
these
喺嗰
backgrounds. Of
個
course, the Rose
你
background
喺
that was added
Topanga
to
打
the
過
game.
咁啊，
Yeah,
呢雪期入面
he
贏過
really
啦。
likes this V-Skill 1 in the neutral. He does
所以
a lot
都
of kick into like
呢啲按幾
V-Skill
重演，我諗都係
backdash, or
贏
he'll
過。
switch it up and go with the jump. Like you
Yep,
see
just
right
like
there.
there, yeah,
He
exactly.
loves that.
All right, gets a nice crush counter combo there. And for that, he's
喂
already
靚
built
塔，
up his
咁啊見到你面
V-Trigger
下中間
1.
出嚟，
So
但係
let's see
嗰一
what
次
he
都未
goes with here.
因為呢個
Yeah,
最戇鳩
I
嘅
expect
風
the Gotcha
嚟
to go with the V-Trigger 1. It seems like a more
即係我呢個
stable
風真係
answer to
要
Blanca.
略略，一定要北佢。
Catching him reaching off the
呢條
jump.
友
Gotcha now got the corner.
呢條友永遠嘅 channel 玩家嚟，
Oh,
佢未
wow,
未
that caught. And here we go, gets knocked down,
好似
activated.
有一年係佢贏日本嗰
And
個
he's gonna be able to get the
CPT
combo off of this.
'Cause
Yes,
he
and-
ended up behind that jump back button, put the knees on him, and now
Ah,
Gotcha he's down
可能
to the
都係
V-Trigger.
嗰句
He's definitely
冇人識
looking for an
打。
activate.
咁啊，街六都有 channel，所以佢唔怕冇佢。
Yeah, and of course, you know, the ability to also low crush a lot of moves as well, but then also just the range out of nowhere catching you off guard. Gachikun taking round number 1 over
Land cut.
interrupt.
That was godlike, and actually got a full punish on it.
唔俾你踢風，唔俾踢風係最基本嘅打法。
For Rashid to cancel into those ENG
但係其實實際就好難實踐嘅打法。
呢
呢個小玩家
一
踢風踢得好小心。
So wait for Rashid to get
好容易周啊
for free unless you can interrupt it like Nishikin did.
Wow, what a neutral jump anti-air right there from
靚喎，
Gotcha.
咁都打完。
Yeah, he was doing that to
加佬好型
Pugera.
啊！
He
你睇埋其他角啦，可能
was so
其實
ready
隻隻個都好型。 因為街龍
Wild answer.
接勁嗰啲人好
Oh,
用
talked
心，
about that jump heavy
你嗰個
push,
接
bro. You think you
到
could anti-air it?
即係嗰啲
Oh man,
技好
You
型。
think wrong.
nice to have a good jump attack.
啲人話最型係嗰個 level 3 CA。
Yeah, I love
Trái
the
lỗi
push
cho
for
cái
both
tốt.
sides right here. Again, the V triggers are active. They don't want to give each other that window.
睇下點啊，唉，
Finding it with that
希望唔好
empty
咁
jump low.
希望唔好咁難打啦
Gachikun,，
唉
perfect，
我唔會用啊嘛，
spacing
跟住難打就
off guard.
我又唔會用，我
Over
又唔可以
the
享受佢個
block,
強
the，pressure is
只可以對角佢
in
個
from
強，
Nishikin. Survives, and now he gets his turn for V trigger.
揸死啊呢個係，
And yeah, look at that. All those plus frames on that.
Oh,
But here we
yeah.
go. Confirming the super. Is this
Yeah.
gonna kill? Is this going to kill?
Oh,
Oh,
same way.
what?
He's trying to pick some. Wow, he just woke up.
Oh,
with it.
la.
I love that V reversal
呢
punish.
個時候可以 punish 飛搞嗰
Gachikun
個
ready.
Bring it,
Lie and wait for that.
Okay.
James could do nothing but
嗰度有
clap.
個 C 啦，街龍
Dude, I mean, think about it. Like a lot of times when players
都應該都唔同啊，即係得個樣靚一樣。
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Dude,
佢街3之後嘅嘢啦嘛，佢點會唔打
got in
破
that
啊？
situation, blocked the Blanca
啊，
ball.
尼來
I
都
already know what to do.
尼來
Here we
啊，
go. Done.
It's easy to
你攞到
panic
大過
when
女
your
啦。
opponent lives on a pixel, and it's even easier to panic when they wake up with a
即
full
係如
screen
果街3嗰陣時已經係個，街3嗰陣時已經係
Still kept his
個，
composure and
即
punished
係個
perfectly.
即係仲係一個小學生嚟嘅，
With that
佢
first
街
game,
六係
trying to send
即
Nishikin
係
out of this
成人
tournament
正
again.
即係一個
Gachikun, Capcom Cup winner, so
妹
we know how strong he is.
知地知啦，有個
Now, quick tech
有
throw.
個 leakage 啊嘛，
Gonna
咁
reset,
啊
able
有
to
個
complete that
leak 出咗
stun
嚟，
gauge, so we're
知道晒
gonna
啲角㗎啦，
nice and slow in
應
the
該都
neutral
係嘅。
again.
Yeah, Nishikin really utilizing that neutral jump, but you got to be careful.
有 Rashid 有 DJ
Gachikun
有
has that
Banker 有
medium punch
Honda
anti-air. The towards
蘇聯
medium
佬啊，
punch.
跟住
Couch Pearson being able to get a nice
Good,
combo off this. Yeah, the
uh,
V trigger one rolling into the corner.
Cammy
Takes
啊
down the
呢
V reversal, at least put some pressure on him, but Gachikun cuts it off at the pass.
And now here we go, throw into the corner. Gachikun does not have the V trigger ready, but he's got plenty of life to gain it before the end of this round is over. And Nishikin about to run out of his
個
zone.
咁啊，嗱林隊都冇得等死，
Empty jump, and then
解大個死。
Gachikun with the
Tiêu
long
cổ à.
downtown range shimmy right there for the whiff.
我唔係好中意呢啲大隻佬
He is
角色
at
嘅，
match point.
你鬧唔一定佢
Even
打，
hits a,
太大太手腳太長。
the shimmy were both
大力。
either
跟住
neutral
有
jump,
精
empty low, or a forward
有多
jump
血
empty low. So Gachikun really spacing out those
辛
max
苦
range
嘅，
crouch
因為我
medium
冇我冇
kicks.
波放，
Good
呢個飛龍
reaction,
冇啊，
forward jump. And again, there it is.
出就唔出。
And you know, one of the problems is I commented on earlier, Blanca, one of the rare characters that has a
因
neutral
為啲黑妹
jump
攻，
that-
哇！
Oh
一飛
my
就即
goodness,
刻
I'm
即
sorry,
刻
James. He tried
一
to
條片
escape，with EX Rainbow Ball, and he just hit the vertical
係
spinning
嗰個
mixer.
魔就有，你嗰
Dead
度
off of it
紅
as
組就有。
Ridiculous
即
right
係
there. Gachikun
真係出
keeping
就
him
冇。
locked up for the dub.
Doing it in quick fashion, 2-0.
好咁啊，都話秒殺，都話
And,
啲船
Gachiku's
係
gonna move on. He is
即係
our
top
first
Banker 已
qualifier into the
經
top
已
8
經
on the loser
top Banker 已
side.
經證明咗係
I
冇
mean,
人。
what I was trying to say before
Banker
that nice
妖
stun right there from Gachikun.
佢淨係存在一個 Banker
most
Banner 度
characters
嘅。
neutral jump in this game. They have
佢
the
唔
same
存在一隻
buttons as
Ken
when they
Yeah.
diagonal jump. It's different from a lot of old games. But for Blanca, he actually has a unique neutral jump heavy punch. So he actually doesn't have access to that great jumping fierce that
咁啊，
hits
又
super
要睇
low.
佢
And
慢慢喺
that's
度
what
冇
allows
呢個
Gachikun to
廣告。
anti-air
咁
with
又
his
係實體
punch, towards medium punch really well.
睇埋
And
呢
I
啲
love
必
the
殺
fact
技
that Gachikun he anti-airs with that towards medium punch, and then he follows it up with Eagle Spike every time, right? So it's extra damage, it's corner
呢個
carry, it's
呢個
OP.
呢個 level
Like, he's
3
making the most out
佢
of
變
it.
咗做殺人
Just
毛
getting
喎，
one
啲頭髮
on
長
one
到
and then letting it go.
仲飄過 Ju 仲飄過 Mika。
And you know, it's one of the benefits of that towards medium punch. It's
我呢個 VT 一個
It's
招。
one of the rare normals that causes a knockdown. And that shimmy in the corner over here, this is where it just all
我呢個
you have the stun,
呢個係變咗
finish
lock 個
mixer,
CA 嘅
do not mash the button so that
一個
you
free 又
can
撳一
fall
定有
and
得。
cancel into the super.
呢個變咗
He
Able 嗰
moves
個
on, as you can see, the first of our
我係 Able 嗰個
into the
UC。
top 8 of the side.
You know, you're talking about character-specific things too. That was another character-specific moment. Was that Rashid V reversal on that Blanca ball in the first place? Because his V reversal is one of those that kind of rolls forward. It's one of those that actually allows the chase down punish in the first place. Not a lot of characters
啲
have
頭
that
髮
sort of
散咧，好
extra
似係
usage from Gachikun.
即係
I
佢
mean,
要
he won Capcom
佢
Cup
開咗一
character,
個
or he won Capcom Cup on
CA
this
儀先
character.
至
He has his
有。
own costume for a reason. So we're gonna see him in top 8 loser side. And my goodness, those
Oh,
3
佢個頭可以
matches
避
we
波。
got left. Heaters to say the least, man.
行雲流水。
Heaters to say the least, but of course, you know who
都
else
幾
got
萬。
that heat? That's that
有咩
Street
用咧？
Fighter
咁多微
duel.
博。
I want to see the costumes in Street Fighter 6. Don't disappoint me out there. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, with the global version coming soon. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and let's
哇！
fight for
水
each
料腳
other
做
and
winning
join the
pose。
journey with millions of
呢
players
個
to
咩？呢
become
個
the
氣功
best
獎嚟
fighter and let them know you want
新
those
氣功炮。
costumes in the next game.
Yeah, and in an interesting little situation here, our next event for the Capcom Pro Tour is actually a few weeks away. It's going to be on July 9th.
都係嗰幾招嘅啫，話咁多招嘅，我有冇睇錯嘛？
3 weekends from now or so.
一個大技
obviously with
大技，
CEO
佢必殺技
in
嗰支。
between there, so you definitely want to check that out because there's going to be some
嗱，波波拳就
fierce
係
action in some Street Fighter 5.
波波拳就
But
係
registration
波波拳
opens
就係
on
真刀波
June 20th, so you want to
反
make
波
sure
拳就係
you
嗰招
get
近
that
距離嘅真
registration
刀波
in there if you are from the
波波
South
腳就
America
係真
region.
勝。
So many strong players down there, and I can't wait to see who makes it out from that.
同埋啲 special move
You can't make it out if you don't register.
多嘅
So，make sure you get that in
啲
there.
太空步啊
before.
，throw 啊，
See the schedule over here. Once we get back 3 weeks from now on July 9th, South America West, and they'll be
what
coming
was that?
fast and furious after that. Asia Southeast, Central America East, and those are the next 3 events that we have covering us all the way through July.
Yeah, man. As you mentioned, CEO at the end of the month. Big shout outs to everybody running that. I had somebody message me like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, it's like 5 a.m. in Florida, bro. What are you doing out there? So they're already hard at work at the tournament to come, of course. I thank you all for joining us hard at work wherever you're at. Staying up through the wee hours of
哇！呢個
morning.
水料腳，
Awesome Japan action. We're going to be back
呢個水料
with
腳
the
呢
last
過
leg
分。
of matches. Do not go anywhere on Capcom Fighter.
呢個誒二段跳，佢跳得好遠喎。其實你咁樣跳其實即係好似打街四嗰個龍咁樣啫喎，永遠都逼唔到兩邊，一飛就飛翻出嚟，肯定做唔到嘅。有冇咩好睇啊？呢個白痴嘅呢個。幾大力喎呢個，一套好似大幾套，都唔係好大啫。呢度開始扣佢呢度200度，一個下中嘅 Yes 技咁應該差唔多佢。睇下扣幾多億格？呢度開始1格啦我哋。係啊，呢個咁嘅 FADC 我覺得3格係真係幾3格真係有啲多，用唔用好咧？有時你3格再嚟一個 Yes 技其實5格嘅，你成個冇咗嘅咯，你個 Yes 技。呢招算6殺咁款嘅，一出就冇啊！喂，呢個真係你可唔可以再放遠啲啊，大佬睇鬼啊！呢個咩嚟啊？Margo Stun 呢個係有啲 friend 嘅啲嘢，有一 film 無敵咩 ？NT-Air 啫，不嬲都有噶啦。講到新嘢咁。有啲咩可以睇下？得咗咁多嘢睇，呢冇嘢睇嘅。
よく見ていた。さあ飛びはしっかりジャストで受け止めていく。体力はわずか。ゲージ差はある。ここはどう出る？インパクトは。
Julie 有啊，青都有破產青啊嘛。有燈華湖呢啲咁嘅，唔知係咪特登嘅？即係 MK 味咯。佢爆氣變咗做力卡尼喎，成頭都係頭，個頭髮飛下飛下。一件放波係卡式帽嘅，咪呢個摩登帽，卡式帽就係都係太奢侈。青破咗產啊，就嚟出嚟嘅。佢 beta 就得4隻啫嘛，所以冇。Julie 有啊，等下。不嬲都難用，個個都難用噶啦。我 Julie 未易用過，所以都唔好預有易用。
任何愿意承担风险的人，前方的道路充满了战斗，大大小小的。现在就是出发的时刻，带上魔法与钢铁，适合加入战斗了。
咩 game 嚟
？We're here for the final block of 3 matches to determine who's
going
to be
to
playing
the
top 8 tomorrow for the only Japan CPT event of the year. I'm James Chen, joined once again by Ringe to bring you the action.
其實佢唔好識解解吧。
Oh yes, most definitely. And the action
金牌仔
has been brought.
你認真聽佢哋講，認真聽佢講嘢咧。佢成日都噏錯啲嘢，不過都係隻 game 都係鳩噏當秘笈，啲人都唔係好理解。唔會啦，16隻咁咗㗎啦，16隻好多㗎啦，其實呢隻 game。Ketsu versus Daigo, Kyohei versus Gucci for the remaining spot. 有機會㗎，其實我冇細聽佢講。唔奇啊，我覺得。佢都唔係好打嘅，尤其出咗新角色之後，佢會唔會知道？佢會唔會知道 Poison 個 EX Over Attack 係減幾？我覺得佢。咁有時講錯嘢好外。即係真係鳩噏仔，即係認真聽佢講嘢，其實係錯晒。我覺得佢真係，我覺得真係唔知，即係有時就係街霸5問答比賽 ，Birdy 爆 Birdy VT1 有咩用？我真係覺得呢個世界冇人知 Birdy VT1 有咩用。正常，要知嘢嘅。唔知嘅話，其實你唔係好知，即係你唔係好明白到佢嗰個選項，點解要咁做？咁樣做有咩？點得佢要反拖啊，或者點得佢唔反拖嘅都要講下。係啊，所以我不嬲覺得講嗰啲人要有翻咁上下實力㗎，都唔係上交嘅啦，我覺得。啱埋一個啦，啱埋都唔算嘅。佢啲招有啱埋，但係唔係令到佢所有招又啱。冇啊，勁嗰啲唔講我咪。即係某程度上，我勁嗰啲唔講咪講晒。但係應該要，但係講就一定要。即係如果有黃講會聽有黃，或者邊個會聽邊個。即係如果有一揀嘅。咁佢哋兩個要打唔講我咪喺度俾。即係我覺得有時嗰啲獨孤人之類啊，諗一諗下，呢個對佢其實拳腳司令又唔有利嘅，不過輸出咧都係司令有少有利。唉，總之講還講睇還睇啦。
Neutral is so scary. I mean, those
知每次聽到佢噏錯嘢我直耳開始又我直耳開始好似好痕啊開始。
Yeah, and oh, the
即係感覺上又真係鳩喎。
just outside the range of the sandblast, so that was ridiculous. Tokido waking up with an EX.
嚟啦！
Oh, staring down for a second. Tokido took first swing.
Ooh, neutral jump right there. Thought he would come with an
係
EX,
嘅咩？
not scissor kick.
我見 Capcom 揾親嘅都係啲 都係啲有翻咁上實嘅。仲有 James。你好，點解變咗 RTV 同埋班 F 咯？
Tokido just taking the throw. Again, very close on the live here. Both players playing discipline until Dogra busts out.
Okay, back throw. Oh, fakes the
一定有㗎啦，唔係呢個司令個鏟又係差食嘢嚟，即係司令冇鉸剪腳咯嘢，司令會冇鉸剪腳。嗰個鏟又係卡食嘢，一定要有。因為軍佬冇縮力泵或者包羅冇四六 P 咁樣，冇可能。咁啊，而家一個坑門嘅。RTV 勁啊嘛。
Almost for sure not gonna kill.
Oh yeah, and Tokido
唔係嘅，其實
after getting a jump in last
應該
time, so this time he catches Dogra off guard.
司令最難打就係啲
Just enough time to perhaps jump himself.
有啲好快，即係拳腳太勁，即係突進技精頭角啦嘛。因為司令佢最勁嘅地方就係咧一個減4或者減3嘅鉸剪腳，或者啲拳腳跟住就但係又佢會喺一個，但係打完之後你嘅拳腳掂唔到佢個減3減4。 但係指令頭係遠過拳腳嘅，所以有機會掂到佢。所以每一次指令頭都會，即係每一次拳腳佢之後都要冒險食一個指令頭。咁啊，所以就難打係嗰啲角咯。不過呢集指令頭角色唔勁咧，所以先令我好勁，就咁解啫。
Yeah, identifying that right. Bison has a little bit hard time anti-airing in certain ranges, so.
Yeah, and you saw Tokido after he blocked the Psycho Axe, hit a button. Yeah. And it traded, fortunately, for Tokido. Normally, that should be a win for Bison.
And we saw the power in that jump pierce from Luke as well. Actually, Dogra tried to meet him in the air with an air-to-air, and Tokido's button still won out.
UGM 嚟㗎。
Losing a lot of answers right now.
佢時空係好勁喎。
Look again. Yeah.
我肯定係呢個，我覺得你唔夠佢打。 同埋 game 入邊嘅出邊
busted out again. The second wake up EXDP we've seen in game 1. Not letting Dogra get any off.
你可以睇下，即係阿盧係咩 D is 阿盧好似嗰個，你可以 search 下佢個名。
Dogra didn't have anything to cancel that slide. Tokido won at that point, and I don't think he realized it. Maybe he thought there was a Psycho Crusher or a trigger on deck, and he just kind of did the V reversal. He was probably planning the V reversal something.
UGM 啊，上咗10萬啊！時空啊嘛又
unless I read the situation wrong, which definitely could happen. These matches go by so fast.
And Dogra, he was ready for the jump in that time with the crouch fierce, right? The problem with that button is that you just have to do it so early. You have to be really ready with your reactions. And even then, if you jump close,
所以咪講得渣佢，不嬲都咁講。咁咪好勁㗎啦 ！UGM 都唔夠勁，你要揾到佢幾高啊？你揾到真係即係攞呢個 CPT 嗰啲，呢個 CC 咁樣。 嗰個 level。唉，算啦，唔講嗰啲啦，咁咪就咁講落去，即係講到你播完呢場都未講。解答之後再壓制。咁啊，始終咧呢個對決就某程度上，哇！你咁樣解答，杜姑娜出名係對唔到號。 所以就，其實基本上咧，你只要肯跳佢咧，呢個角反會減六。咁你每一個角反位嘅，你即係啱啱爭下呢人。咁啊是啦，呢個中腳咧就係改咗個 hit stun 啦。即係簡嚟講就唔好從爭好遠啦。而家咧佢嗰個中腳打中咧，淨係可以播中腳嗰個意思。冇咩好做。咁啊，多數如果近啲就可以下中你。哦，大鑊啦呢個，呢個戇居，即係你只要重拳 X 波咧就埋身嘅，冇一個向後喐波。 有死咗啦！日本就全部都打唔滯，識嗰啲都打。咪俾佢刺殺咗。
jumping heavy punch.
哦，唔 confirm， 咪即係唔撞就爭啲 high，咁興。啊，圖庫拿喺度 Kito 就哇靚喎，cut 到嗰個咁啊狂撳到中，之後 CA 呢反啊 VT 啦。咁啊白血喺呢度條白血加埋對面死咗啦 CA。佢嗰個Cycle S 同埋呢個嗰啲重拳咧都成日都 whiff 啊 ，Tokido 仲呃過佢嚟仲呃到好。咁啊，洛古拿出局。咁啊，一哥仲係咁一哥。
There was a code that you could enter in on like I think it was like
XF4 4代唔得啦，4代冇吸波嘛，爭好遠。同個波又有光速嚟，你只要係咁撳就贏。而家5代可能先係咁啊，隻 game 唔同嘅，自然個對決都唔同。即係你唔可以攞上一代咁代比，雖然啲招都係咁卡食啦，都係 Yes 波啊 ，Yes 鉸剪腳咁樣。Yes 鉸剪都唔同啦，街4確反嚟，街5。
Starting to get jumped in a lot, starting to get bullied. You look for those air to airs, but man, we saw that early jump fears just destroy him. Like that was so hard to kind of use meter. The only time he ever beat was an EX.
我覺得係 Tokido 勁嘅，你唔好講到即係唔係好關隻角色事。Tokido 用阿龍都可以殺死到㗎啦。
And again, if you do get hit by an EX stomp into the follow-up, yeah, it's damage. He gets Oki, but again, it's not like it's huge. You know what I mean? Tokido's, for as many times as Tokido did get the jump in there, you'll take that damage every so often, but now all of a sudden you get all this free pressure by jumping in all the time. But there you go. Tokido, oh man, he has to face Gotcha-kun.
Ooh, that is going to be a fun loser side top 8 match for tomorrow.
哇，Tokido loser 第一個入呢個 top 8啦。
versus Tokido and
唔係第一個，第一個係邊個？啱啱打一場嘅。啊，加斯冠加斯冠 Tokido，咁啊爭2場。Daigo 對 Casual， 咁啊基本上你直接話俾佢知加唔出線得啦，冇得打佢哋。Lucia 冇過波技，有唯一嘅過波技就係打到對手都係減4啊，我都唔知嗰啲叫做過波技。所以基本上對手的波都係用前跳去過波，用前跳過波即係等死。唔知喎，即係華裔咯，最多咪果人，果人就算啦。低個嘢難喎，得唔到喎呢啲。
This is a tough match.
實力差咁遠。
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, James. I'm expecting him to get Sonic Boom today.
如果可以登兩登就可以解決佢嘅話，登兩登就可以解決，登兩登就可以過嘅話就我覺得我直接可以不如登死。
So I think it's going to be tough for Lucia. Maybe she can make something big happen. She does have the offensive potency to get that one knockdown kind of turn her opponent into a round victory. But just getting there in the first place is going to be such an arduous task against Daigo.
鏟腳好似好明顯。係啊，講廣東話。
Knock down Daigo. And then predict the EX flash.
Lucia 冇啊，減4啦。
Get up with a crouch walk, and then just like flash kick afterwards, dude. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen at this point.
Margo 曾經刀嚟啊嘛 ，Margo 死 ，Margo 嗨新手嘅 ，Margo 嗨路人嘅機會遠遠高於呢個 Daigo。冇改啊，咁當然睇佢嚟啦，咁但係冇改冇改。
Especially with a medium kick when it has good projectile invul. So if you do see Guile go up for that, it can't be hit by projectile and it can't be hit by any airborne moves.
喂，你咁樣避啊？因為啱啱個波你掃腳，你上空掃都掃到落地，幾好。
Yeah, with the V skill, wake up V skill.
係啊，所以個鏟好難，即係佢係減4，唔知點解佢係即係遠遠地都減4嘅，即係佢去到好遠先開始減少啲，好難。咁啊，其實爭少少殺都冇乜事嘅呢隻 Lucia， 但係即係殺唔到啦，數字上都係輸。
As soon as he gets the knockdown, praise upon that.
哦，係呢個啦，見到啊！你要過波就用個鏟，但係啱啱講咗話嘅，中咗都係會俾人食個鏟。哇！呢個好難做嘅，大家可以試下。即係立輕嘅波式，好鬼死難。啊 ，Daigo 呢個 hitbox 使啊，好有，即係佢用慣咗明白，即係佢已經習慣咗。喂，呢個位點咧？老師人，你老師人玩家你可以點？咁樣咯，跟住俾人啫。我真係見到係嬲嘅真係呢啲話，所以用老師啊，我成日都想用老師啊，都用卡甸達。冇得打，你冇過，你過唔到波。初期咧，街霸自己角色咧，10個8個都過到波。尤其 V-Skill 個設計啦，咁啊阿龍有 Parry 啦，啲過唔到波又同埋 NT Fireball， 巴成個級啊 ，Nash 個級啊之類嘅。咁啊去到後期開始啲 V-Skill 設計又即係好少，反而調翻轉頭攞嚟 combo 啊，或者攞嚟撲多，即係唔係攞嚟過波。但係如果你每呢啲招咧過波會上升。哇！基本上 keep 住位射波咧，你見到啱啱咧 Tiger 又想做以下，你咪一踢個空波又掃落去，都 OK 啦，我覺得弱過街死嘅，好多嘅，都好快嘅，但係我哋係咁射咁樣，你望住可以點？冇嘢做嘅，等死，等死。如果你用薩庫拉入，下年都過我哋。即係佢真係兜口兜面射埋，又嚟啦，但係冇 VT。係啊，要斯啊，好似全 game 行仲要快過頭幾，所以佢行佢達到，即係你唔可以，即係你反應到我已經太遲。
Trade actually went in the favor of Ketsu off that. Ooh, EX.
Ooh, I love it. The pressure.
Oh man, it's German suplex.
搏反，哎呀，應該可以搏招位㗎，唔夠姜，驚太遠。嗱呢個位真係咁樣過，次次見親呢啲位我都覺得好同情佢，但係結果就係咁，哎呀大鑊啦！好啊 ，Rose 未拉到 ，DLC 話可以啊。哦，你哎呀，你射埋佢又有，佢都冇諗過輕佢做，所以冇諗過幫佢做。
Like the fact that he's not getting counter hit though, like the fact that the throw baits aren't working and he's still throw taking most of the time is ridiculous.
Oh, Trey, that's a great
我知啦，冇啦，咁啊唔會留嘅呢位，一出就出，攞咗燈先。下燈即使你冇氣咧，都要攞咗呢彎先，唔打你。
Yeah, just getting under the Sonic Boom, just using it for movement. Oh,
幾遠喎，幾勁喎呢招！見到加位我哋喺度喐，飛埋上，呢個位有得大嘅。同埋呢個位咧，如果對面用下重腳咧，就會食嗰個波，其實哇！而家單人揀下重腳，吹都要落，呢個好快。啊！會，哎呀，單個冇睇唔識飛秒。讀資訊嘅男人都係唔識飛秒。哦，係啊。咁啊，一下吹埋牆啦。喂，呢個波有啲人踢得兩個波。哦，你啊，拜拜。高空 SC your family。依嚟。好咁啊，都話呢場唔使睇嘅啦，直接二零。
Yeah, Daigo, and again, you know, like we said, he lost that round with the 2 throws, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, the amount of times Daigo had the read on what Ketsu wanted to do, whether it was throw or shimmy or EX。
最後就係 Kohe 對 Hikuchi 又係唔使睇嘅，基本上一定係 Hikuchi 嘅。
How well he was reading the opponents, and it's a very interesting situation. This, I mean, like you look here on the loser side over here, with mostly 2 O's over here. All of a sudden, I mean, on the winner side, that we had some like crazy matches there, but now on the loser side, definitely
top 8下邊老人家之戰咯。加斯官，喂，我加斯官到後生30，我呢度跟住 Daigo 老人家，跟住加斯跟住 Hikuchi 嘢20歲。
And
20、30、40
Kyohei
喎，
with that Kage,
一個
so
generation。
not necessarily a common pick currently, but Higuchi, like I said, a Capcom Cup.
唉，咁實力差好遠嘅，你同即係 Daigo 同啱啱嗰個 Iguchi 比，啲托基同托基度同啊托基度同啱啱嗰個咩啊？嗰隻嗰隻碌比又係爭好遠，一線同二線差距。
Age is definitely a real thing, okay?
所以打 lead 同埋打淘汰賽係兩件事。lead 咧就得勁人嘅啫嘛，即係你嗰啲 top 8你唔會無啦啦有個好似我咁樣同你打。但如果你打淘汰賽咧，真係會有我咯，你要連續過5、6個我咁樣，你是但嗨一場就跌落去。連續打5、6個黐線佬咁樣點打？咁啊你好難真係。所以兩樣嘢，所以其實有時咩英即係好似英超同歐聯，英超你冠軍唔代表你歐聯都要冠軍嘅，即使你可能係真係最勁嘅球隊。但係都即係失分。英超你可以失分啊嘛，歐聯你一失分就出局㗎嘛。爭好遠㗎，杯賽同埋呢個淘汰賽。啊，卡傑對加油！即係準備，即係一場西風血雨就緊咗。如果搶2，一搶3就穩陣啲嘅，搶2真係亂嚟。
as well, and so I mean, like you said, it's been a lot of the.
都唔知咧，邊哪可能冇乜時跌落去咧
？For his age, yeah, especially for his age.
互方決賽唔知㗎。上面有布基拿，有莫摩潮，即係即使點勁都好，上面有兩個老人家，一定有跌落去啊嘛，兩個入邊。咁可能唔係，其實都冇得互方決賽嘅，一定係打 winner 決賽跌落去嗰個啊嘛，即係 semi final 嘅，一定係，即係最玩得最理想都係 semi final。final 一定係打 Cody 同埋 Bossa 一個。即係或者可能即係當然都可以咁啊，兩個一日 top 8真係輸啦嘛，但係都唔會係決賽咯。不過我覺得如果即係都係托基代都用翻 Bossa 打加油，冇用碌噶啦。唔係，因為有 beta 版嘅，依家你見啲 exhibition 都會開部街錄出嚟俾你玩啊！你應該都即係你睇2、3個月就可以打2個禮拜街錄咯，然之後就睇2、3個月就打多2個禮拜街錄，跟住就睇多2、3個月就出啦，咁上下咯。冇咁絕望嘅。靚啊呢個，行前跟住之後行到啱個距離就升佢個火波，唔錯。可以啊。因為佢可唔可以空中旋風佢避咗佢？不過我諗佢原理條都估唔到會踩波車。哦，呢個橫邊錘，呢個橫邊錘打唔到踎低，所以就多數咧見到橫邊錘即刻掃或者即刻好似啱啱佢咁樣下中腳咧，就一個好即係攞嚟打。我哋噴尼斯做嘢好安排，但係冇乜人做到嘅。喂呀！佢想咁啊死咗啦！啱啱佢想打嗰個解答，前之後後衝腳。如果佢 Jack 或者解答咧，就會食嗰個衝腳。但係卡奇啱啱死都唔到。不過即使卡奇咧處理得幾好都好咧，我都覺得冇得打對決。太嘔心啦！即係其實卡奇其實加唔使放波嘅，打拳佢都贏。點解唔好講佢有呢個 Snap Bonus Flash？
But Higuchi again just so solid, so fundamental. Here we go. Here's an opportunity. Got the jump in, but just like that, Higuchi out of it.
Yeah, and the shenanigans. There hasn't really been any shenanigans on Kyo.
哦，又喺個畫面啊！佢打卡奇都咁有對策嘅咩？卡奇需要對策去對付佢。
Oh man, that's beautiful.
唔使研究啊。
at Kyohei, like it just seems like he can't really hang on the ground with Higuchi. He needs some type of shenanigan to get in.
係咪好睇咧？真係一年啊
Higuchi ready for that as well. The V skill hasn't been doing it either.
喂，
Yeah,
吹
he
咗個
hasn't
波，
been able to challenge that Sonic Boom either. I feel like I might be getting him confused with Akuma. Does the red fireball erase?
喂，喺個後大，大鑊啦！
One or not?
誒唔係喎，仲有少少機會啊！
The way Kyohei
怕唔怕？
finally finds
怕
a V trigger activation here.
前單
They're gonna spin that V trigger
一點啊
into that combo.
一定一個機會，
Hold on to
拍
it,
中
maybe
之後就
trying
可以
to
做晒。
counter Sonic
不過
Yeah,
唔容
see,
易啊
right，there you saw the red fireball get through
因
the
為
Sonic
我知你準備，我都係即係你知我知，你都係得呢個機會。
Higuchi would take that trade
我唔會
any
俾你咁
day
容
of
易
the
入到
week
所以
just to stay out, gets the counter hit confirmed. It's how he won the match
咁有 match
against
point 啊？
Yamaguchi as
冇
well.
得打
That counter hit
都話呢
right
場
punch.
係基本上
He's at match
表演賽
point.。
Yeah, and Higuchi has been in the driver's seat entirely. Kyohei struggling on the ground. Yeah, he's been trying for some ass kick shenanigans now. He's looking deep in the playbook.
Yeah. Oh man, knew he had the time for that standing human kick. It's still anti-air. Higuchi just trying to fundamental his way. I mean, again, you know, people talk about this a lot. You know, if what you're doing is working, no need to change up the game plan. Just keep playing the game that you are right now, Higuchi, and he should be able to make it through this.
Yeah, definitely. He's just setting up shop.
你見到咧，佢橫邊錘嘅勁到咧，
Okay, dive kick.
根本就
Still was
睇唔
maxed
切
out, so he didn't take the
佢
damage
嗰
off.
個
Finally find
即
his
係
disco
唔切
crush counter.
咁啊，橫邊壓制。
Kyohei, but ooh, just wigging up with the crouch dive kick.
係咁就波啦，後邊啦，
He
唔
knows
好咁
he's
多嘢。
got Kyohei on the back
係
row.
啦，啱啦，你唔咁樣做冇得打，因為一個下中腳，誒掂啊？
Let's get some good
信唔
damage
信？
off of the anti-air.
唔信，
Oh, but an
信
ENG
咪嗨咯，
In
有冇信念嘅男人呢個，死咗啦！
between, not even directly on wake up. And here
死
we
咗啦！
Oh, what did he try?
佢起上可能想
Super
掃殺，
maybe on wake
Yeah.
up to
我覺得係。
try to go through the sonic boom and hit.
所以啱啱掃殺到咧，就可以穿過個
But
波，
it
然
is
之後衝
not
埋去，
going to
一數先
pan
嘅。
out for
不過冇計
Kyohei. And
呢啲做到都好咧，都係贏我燈，我都覺得下鋪都贏。
Shoutouts to him.
好咁啊，top 16至 top 8打晒啦
But he will be one shy of getting
，winner 就係
and oh
啊
my
高散先睇咗
this，match
加斯官對頭知道
Higuchi and
，Daigo 對 Higuchi，
and
咁兩隻軍佬打啦，
has a
咁上面就
history
係
of
碌
being able to
對
beat Daigo in the
Rashid。
mirror match.
Well, we're gonna find out
We'll find it out.
tomorrow if we get another incident in that saga of a W for Higuchi, or if Daigo can come through and shut down the young man. But of course, that is all tomorrow.
Yeah, wow. Look at this loser side. Gachikun, Tokido, Daigo, and Higuchi.
Look. We're gonna be taking a break, and we're gonna
Okay,
be
fair,
going
fair,
over the
fair,
bracket
fair,
when
okay,
we
fair,
get back.
fair,
You know what I'm saying?
fair,
So I don't
okay.
want to blow our entire, you know.
Right
Right
now,
now,
we'll
we're
be
gonna be
in
talking about it soon. Because what I need to
Hảo
talk
thủ
to
à,
you
ai
all
hảo
about
sự
right
sự.
now is
Nhưng
about
mà
Street Fighter games. You know
Yusan
what it is right
thì
now.
lại khác
The
đi.
hottest mobile game
Đúng rồi,
out there
打
right now, available in
打
China,
毛魔池
soon
啊，
to
嗰
be
邊打就，
released
跟
in
住下邊就
global
係
fashion
啊
and all
嗰隻
I want
Julie
are those
打
costumes for the next Street Fighter game, bro.
打
There
Pugela，
are so many
咁就
cool
呢個邊打
instances
個
of
Black。
art and
一
alternate
一
costumes
個
in
就
Street
力
Fighter
卡尼
games
打
for
Cody，
all
一
of
個
your
就係
favorite
拳手
characters. I really encourage y'all
打
to go and look them
Julie。
up and then harass everybody
係啊，
you
軍佬對
possibly
軍佬
can to
咪
make sure they're in the next
Yeah.
game.
好似咁多年都係
It's not even the art that you see here.
加
No,
好似
it's
幾
got
單
that
嘅
cool, like,
Yeah,
street
yeah,
feel,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
all this is cool
Maybe
with their
I'll- I'll-
default
I'll-
outfits and everything,
Uh-huh.
but they have such legitimately cool